Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very punctual Click R3 number 33. And we were close. Ryan was like, he just got the scene where the door is coming down and the person just rolls underneath of it. That's what just happened with Ryan. He just got here right at the horn, basically at 9 on the dot. But it's good to have you here, Ryan.
Thanks, John. It's good to have you here too.
Yes. Good. How's it going over there?
Doing pretty good. Not too bad. I'm alive.
We do a wellness check on you. I was gonna say, it's October. You're rolling through a very important time in your channel right now.
Yeah, I know. Some might be aware of what I'm doing for October, and I'm alive. We'll put it that way. Okay. I am playing. Is that like it's like, hey, Yote just came out. I'm not playing Yote, obviously, but this is the most gaming I've done in probably this whole goddamn year. So
hey, good to have you here, multi-gamer. First time watching live. Appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping in. But this is the most gaming you've done in a while, so that's good to hear. I mean, it's also going to then result in a whole video and stuff for it. So at least there's time
possibly,
together, right?
Possibly. Yes. We can't just say this, John. We can't just say it out loud.
You're gonna go through all that and then not even put a video.
Yeah, something like that. I just lost the tab. Oh, there you are. I lost the tab you were on.
Oh.
So did you see somebody message in our chat there, John?
Oh yeah.
Good old.
What do they got?
What
you got for me?
Nano.
Oh yeah.
Nano's around.
Yo. Yeah, he should jump in. We haven't had him in a bit.
Nano's been gone for a while, son.
Get Nano in here. I don't know what the Dragon Ball community is looking like right now, but I feel like the PlayStation community, based on whatever I see interaction wise, I have to imagine, as crazy as it sounds, the PlayStation side is probably less stressful. That sounds weird, right? I bet you he jumps in and it's something like that. Watch, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's been a minute since we had him on. Yeah, I figure we had all kinds of craziness going on anyway. You didn't get a chance to play Ghost of Yote yet.
But... No, so you'll have to obviously talk a little bit about it, John. But I swear to God, if you say some shit that I don't want to hear about, the first day it comes out, and John of all people posting the intro on Twitter. I got to scroll past it really fast. Christ Almighty, John.
Good. Hey, everybody was posting that intro.
Everybody's wrong.
Everybody's wrong.
Some things should be. I need sacrilege. It's sacrilege. I want to be able to enjoy it in November when I get to it.
Okay. Yeah. November. Well, is that what you're going to after you're done your big video?
I see. Here's like the ironic part too, is that like I have to edit the damn thing, so it's not like November 1st I'm playing Yote. So I don't know.
I actually, it's funny because I have been playing Ghost of Yote. I'm 20 hours in now, and I actually couldn't spoil much of it if I tried because I haven't done that much of the main story.
Yeah, well, that's like one of our Yote stories is about how this game is like super open. So,
yeah. So, I mean, I'll talk about them, but I'm telling you, there's, I think the Yote 6, right? There's like the first one they start you with. It's kind of like you'll see it right away. It's the tutorial one, basically, right? To get you up to speed on everything. And then you go out in the world, you do whatever. I'm on like the first Yote 6 you tackle by yourself still. The first one still 20 hours in. Man, it is crazy. So I got some stuff I can say about it though. Where I even rank it next to Tsushima. So
okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I've only got 2 Yote stories, so everyone's kind of in the middle still playing it. I'm seeing some people already get that platinum too, playing the hell out of it for that first week.
Well, I think Nano might be joining up with us, so we'll see if he played Yote as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he did play it or not.
Yeah, we can check in with him there though when he hops in. Otherwise, though, it's just I've been scattershot with games. I mean, you're doing all these games. I'm all over the place right now. Games are coming out constantly, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle right now to keep up.
Battlefield tomorrow.
I know, and here's the thing though. I heard the single player's 5 hours long.
I'd say it seems like a lot of these single player FPS games are like the campaigns are just so whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like they're using it to kind of show off stuff in the game to you, almost the mechanics, and use this sticky grenade launcher to blow up the wall here to get through. I think it's basically kind of a training course disguised with a narrative, or kind of a narrative, to get you into the game, which is, I mean, it's these campaigns typically nowadays don't measure at all what we used to have back in the day with like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare or something. Those were crazy. Those made headlines. I remember seeing Modern Warfare 2 on that was 2009. That was like CNN or something, because people were mad, or because the no Russian mission.
It was the intro.
I was watching it like, yep, that's awesome.
Well, I feel like the Call of Duty campaigns are actually still pretty enjoyable. I always enjoyed them, at least, but I haven't played a Call of Duty campaign in, I want to say 5-6 games maybe. It's been a long time since but I enjoyed them, because they kind of don't waste your time. You are done with them like in 1, maybe 2 sessions.
Yeah.
So
The Black Ops 6 campaign is pretty good. So I enjoy that one.
Should mention there's a trial going on right now. Like Activision just let people download and play the whole damn game.
Yeah, that's part of the trials, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now it's a little PSA, Black Ops 6. It's the whole game's available. You can download the trial. You play the single player campaign, zombies, it's all open.
I would rather have a 5-hour banger than a 20-hour drag. So yeah, I mean, if that's the case, if it's really cool for 5 hours, great. Because there are many people who are just going to do the multiplayer and that's it. That's fine. But Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, do you want to speak about Yote a little bit here? I mean, how are you enjoying it?
I was trying to see if Nano had played Yote yet, which maybe he'll jump in while I'm going through it. But I can talk a little bit about Ghost of Yote. As I mentioned, I'm 20 hours in right now, and the immediate thing is when you start playing it, we talked about this before, the direct sequel thing, right? Yep. Where it's kind of the way we've used some of these games that come out 5 years later, but they feel like they should be 3 years. Oh, snap. There's Nano.
Hey, the band.
Howdy, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Doing good.
It's been a minute. It's good to have you on, man.
It's good. It's good to be here. Sorry to interrupt. You were like very mid.
Oh no, I was. We were going to start talking about Ghost of Yote. I don't know if you got a chance to pick it up and try it yet.
Yeah. I'm about 10 hours in.
Oh, see, there we go. See, Ryan, get out of the way, Ryan. We got this. Ryan's over here playing some, I don't know, Vita game he found in the back of the PlayStation store or something now.
I hate that you said that, because it's like right here. And
I know what you're doing right now with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm about 20 hours in, so I've been playing quite a bit of it. I've been like going between that and Final Fantasy Tactics. Those are 2 games I'm playing right now. And Tactics, I'm very familiar with. I'm going to blow through that game without any issues. But man, Ghost of Yote, I was saying, Nano, 20 hours in, I'm tackling still maybe the first main Yote 6 member. I'm doing everything else. Like this game just pulls you in all different directions, and I'm actually not really getting anything for the main story done, but I'm doing a lot of other stuff.
That's been my experience as well. I've not went to like that like main icon that's like really far east or something like that. I think I haven't done any of that, and somehow like I sat down to play on my portal, and I thought I was just going to be doing chill stuff, and the next thing I know, I'm like in a cutscene, and I was like, wait, what is happening? And that has happened twice now, because I'm like, I feel like I'm just doing something chill, and it's not, because it's like actually doing progression in a cool, unique way. I don't know. Yeah, the Yote is felt really special, more so than I anticipated, because I thought it'd be more just strictly more Tsushima, but it has felt a bit elevated from Tsushima to me personally. So
basically after 20 hours, I'm trying to figure out what Tsushima is better than it with, but I think Ghost of Yote is just better than Tsushima across the board. Like I'm really trying to figure out, maybe as I go along, get towards the end, the story falls apart or something. But right now, I actually think Atsu is a bit more interesting in the current arc that I'm going. Like I said, I'm going through like there's the Yote 6 member that's basically a tutorial in the beginning. You see it in like the first hour, but after that, it's like further north. I'm like up there. And I'm going through that arc, and that ended up being a whole different thing than I was expecting. So it's actually been pretty good with the story beats here. But then there's other Yote 6 members. It could get really cheesy or something, who knows. But so far it is that revenge plot, but they're doing a lot of twists and turns as you're going. They have some like actual twists and reveals that have been good so far. But I'm just walking along to the next thing, and then you'll come across, a person who's just walking with a caravan, and they'll be like, "Hey, there's a person over there that looks kind of strange." You go talk to him. You go talk to him, and all of a sudden, as you say, cutscene, and then you're off on like a whole tandem of quests, and then it ends with you getting a really cool armor set or sometimes a new weapon. And it's just there's discovery pretty much it's a very dense feeling open world. Is my experience so far. It doesn't feel very boring.
Yeah, like, you don't really go too far between like doing something or something like I'm really shocked at how many oh my gosh, hot springs that like I've just ran into. I feel like those were more like like I don't know. I feel like they were fewer and far between, and like the hot springs and
the bamboo strike.
Yes, yeah.
And then the bamboo strike is like you putting the cheat code in, like we did in the first one, but they have that thing where the bamboo will fly up in the air and you got to see it real quick and hit the buttons.
Yeah.
There's a really cool part. I don't know if they showed the different weapons, because we saw the I'm trying to remember what the one is called, the blade with the chain. These are all things they showed in the previews. Did you get any of the other weapons so far?
Nah, the only one I have is like the dual katana right now.
The katana, the dual katana.
Yeah, I don't have the fun stuff yet. I've not went and got any of that.
There was a part where you're getting the dual katana, Ryan, that I thought they were so close to doing click R3, but they did click L3 instead. And it plays completely into the whole, and it was a really interesting like fourth wall break almost, because you have two katanas, you're trying to learn the left hand because your character's right-handed, and they do a click L3 instead of R3 and kind of trip you up. And I was like, they had it. They couldn't. No, I think it's purposely, because I was like, I feel like I put that incorrectly and it still broke. So I think it's on purpose. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do it. I guess maybe somebody did, but that was a cool moment. There's some cool moments in this game that plays into the story beats, and it looks incredible. I know people are posting images. The intro is still awesome. This is like, if you have a nice OLED that you just got, you may as well buy this game with the OLED. Like at Best Buy or wherever you're getting it from, just go and put that in the shopping cart too, because it has that contrast that we saw with Tsushima, where it's all green, and then you have like this sprinkle of just very vibrant red or blue or something with the flowers, and it just pops completely off the screen. So this is, visually speaking, realism wise, not the best looking game I've seen in terms of that. In terms of art style mixed with realism, maybe the best game I've seen.
I think Death Stranding 2 is probably the best looking game I've seen in like on a screen, I think, for me.
Right. I would say like realism wise, that's probably the most realistic I've seen. Like humans and character models and landscapes try to look photorealistic. This has like that artsy kind of touch to it that makes to me more pleasing to look at. Like if I had to go, okay, do I want to put a Death Stranding 2 landscape on a picture frame, or do I want to put, like those TVs that are like picture frames or whatever. I've seen people with those. Like, would I want to do that, or would I want to show like an image from a big field in Ghost of Yotei? I feel like I would put the Ghost of Yotei in there, just with the full HDR blast, the whole thing.
Also impressive, like the different environments. I know Tsushima had this too, but I feel like all of a sudden I landed in a section with a foliage that was of nothing like the foliage I've ever really seen in a game too much, and not that much of it. I was like, it's a very unique grass flower type that I ended up in at one point. And I was like, what? And I started noticing, like, wait, this is literally everywhere. And then you run this way a little bit, and then you're into a different subsection of foliage with a totally different color palette. And I was like, that was really impressive. I don't know. Several moments like that in this game, actually.
Yeah, there's some very distinct areas. There's one area I came to, and it put the title up for it, which was pretty cool, but it was all like blue flowers basically everywhere. And it was one of those bounties that you can pick up bounties.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
There was one I came up, was like, whoa, this is like all blue. And then it does that thing again. They've shown this before, where you end up fighting, the bounty in the flowers. It was just a really cool looking scene, because people were you could chop grass and stuff, but when you're actually in a duel and fighting in the grass and like stuff's flying all over the place while you're swinging at them, it looks really cool. Like, it looks really cool in motion. But the gameplay and the combat, I think the combat's better as well than Tsushima, because Tsushima was based on stances. This is based on weapons, kind of rock, paper, scissors, in that some weapons are stronger than others to break your stamina gauge or your blocking gauge. But you can switch between them. You can still use something that isn't as strong against a different weapon type. It just takes longer to break through their shield. But I like all the weapons I have so far. I'm switching between them. There is a whole stealth part to it. And as you go through the story so far that I've seen, they start to lean into that a little more. So it's, to me, I like what I'm seeing so far. And I think I'm going to end up enjoying this just more than Tsushima. Again, unless something crazy happens, it all falls apart story-wise. Are you you sure you don't want to play this now, Ryan?
Don't have the time. I'm afraid.
Hey, are you doing a plat thing? Is that why you can't because you have to get plats?
That may or may not be what's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
I always film them in October, so it's like, well, not much I can really do about that.
I want to see the big twist at the end where you're like, and I platinum Ghost of Yote.
As much as I would love to do that, like, it just doesn't, like, there's just no time in the day for it.
I say just sleep less, man.
Right,
dude. I already am. Think about it. It's got to be one a day. A day goes by, you don't get a platinum, you're done. You're one behind. It's got to be one a day. Now, John, what did I do today? I'll tell you.
Probably played Mind's Eye.
No, I wrote my show notes. I filmed LTPS. Now I'm here. What's
the 2-hour platinum you're copping out on today?
But that's the thing. I don't want to do like the super easy ones. Like 3 hours
list.
Minimum. 3 hours a minimum is what I shoot for. And I combine 3-hour ones with like 10-hour ones.
Do you have the Hannah Montana plat?
Oh, I did that in the first part. I did. Okay. The first one I did was in 2019.
Okay.
That was the finale game, was Hannah Montana on PS3.
You need to do that though, because you've been giving away Hannah Montana's a too many. You have to have the platinum for that.
Yeah, that was the first one, and then the second one I did Baby and Tina at the horse farm. That was the second one. That was the second finale game. The third finale game was Barbie, and I didn't finish it in time, so I actually failed.
Now, can I ask you a question about a game that came out recently? I feel like you've probably played it, but I wanted to get your take on it. This Dragon Ball game. It looks like a MOBA almost.
Yeah, Genshin Squadra.
Yeah, okay, you've played that. I keep seeing it pop up. The PlayStation keeps recommending it to me. My phone keeps recommending it to me, and it like knows that I'm watching like Dragon Ball right now with the kids and stuff. The phone's listening. I get it, but the PlayStation controller probably is too. But it keeps like recommending it to me, and I'm like, I don't know if that's my kind of game. Is it any good?
I mean, obviously I'm biased because it's Dragon Ball, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. You know, it is free. It's a MOBA, so it's a grind. You don't unlock characters unless you want to spend a few bucks to get the characters. But they're trying their best to not call it a MOBA, from what I can tell them and all of it. But you know, it's a MOBA. But it's like, instead of I don't know if you played League or any standard like MOBA, where it's like you have to farm creeps and you have to like be on top of like last hitting and blah 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 blah. This game is way more so like you're fighting within the first like 60 seconds of like getting into lane. Like you're immediately like fighting your opponent, and it's more so about winning lane and actually winning fights versus winning lane and like getting a bunch of gold, because this game doesn't have an item shop, and it's like trying to do more so around like 8 to 10 minute matches, as opposed to say like a League of Legends where you're committing to 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes a match. You would play, 4 or 5 squadron matches in that same time frame. But yeah, it's definitely, they tried to jam pack Dragon Ball high octane. You're fighting a lot in this game, and more focus on that than focusing on like, having to do all the micromanagement of a shop and all these things. And so like, it is really cool though, because as you level up, you like in the middle of the match, some characters have like mid-game transformations. And the models in this game, which is so funny because most of it is isometric. You're like viewing down at your characters like from the top down, but the actual models, when it will go in and do like super attacks and stuff, are some of the best models we've ever seen in a Dragon Ball game ever. And they actually referencing like their true like core material, like a Super Saiyan Goku that's from Namek looks like that Super Saiyan Goku like from Namek, Whereas, and then you have a Super Saiyan 3 Goku that is like actually a different model and has the aesthetic of Goku, how Goku looks in the Majin Buu saga. So that's been really cool to see too. So, but yeah, it's a free to play game. It is cool though for like a Dragon Ball game that launched on mobile and console and PC and immediately has crossplay. Because like Sparky Zero last year did not have crossplay, and this game launched with it, and then you can like tie your Bandai Namco ID and you can like have cross progression across all of them as well. So like I can play on my phone in bed and get a couple matches in, and then come back up here and play primarily on PC. So yeah, I've not played on PlayStation yet because I want to do a platinum video over that game.
Oh yeah, that should have a platinum. That's right.
And so I didn't realize this. I loaded up on my phone for the first time the other night, and they finally have like achievements on here or whatever, like on iOS, and it started auto popping them, and I was like, crap. If I log in, if I connect to my account and I log in on my PlayStation, it's gonna start auto popping them, and that does not make the video interesting at all. So I'm gonna have to get trophies on an alt account to sort of show the progression, and probably have to replay some of that game, and then I'll probably auto pop for some of the ones that are like substantially more involved. But I've played so much, I already have a ton. Like I'm sure if I logged in, I would already have like 85% of the trophies already.
Oh wow!
So I don't want to just auto pop trophies. I mean I will, but not for the sake of a video, you know.
Just play that on your phone on your off time and just auto pop the platinum one day.
Are you telling me this?
Yeah, for your 30 days.
No, it has to be a genuine 0% to 100%. Gotta properly earn it.
Oh, you can't even pick up on one that like you were midway through or like anything period. Like that's one of the rules. It has to be a zero.
The rule has to be a fresh game on my account, 0% to 100. I added a lot of extra rules during this one. I always ramp it up every time, so added a lot of stipulations in it this time. So, and playing on every PlayStation.
Oh, you do? You have to play every one. Oh man!
I'm surprised you're not looking down at your Vita right now. You're like, okay, well, I gotta hang on, guys. In between conversations, I'm just gonna like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do.
It's so I bring the Vita everywhere just to get a little bit of extra time in to like it's a whole thing. Everyone will see it in November. Hopefully, maybe the first week of December. It's going to be a big edit, but I'm already it's day 9. I've been through it, boys.
Save it for that holiday CPM. There you go.
That's the point. That is the point. I got to burn a month of my life and not do it during the holidays. I did want to mention the one Yote news story that we do have. We had 2 technically, but the one
I added. Also, everyone in the chat, I got Nano down in the description if you want to check him out as well. I added him down there. Good, Ryan.
We have the day 1 patch for Yote. I just wanted to mention it has a lot of performance fixes, stability, gameplay, animation, environment, UI fixes. It's like a laundry list for that day 1 patch. So, and it doesn't ship on disc, so more of a physical game news thing, which is disappointing that they couldn't send a good gold master to print.
Yeah, because it installed everything off the disc that I got. It was like 86 gigabytes off the disc.
Yeah, as well. So there is a gold master, but it's like the day 1 patch seems pretty vital, which is disappointing. And then much to your point about the freedom in this game. So we did hear about this from the creative director, Jason Cannell, speaking with Games Radar, talking about the pacing of the game and the open world, saying that if players don't want to do something in the game, then that's okay to them. They would prefer you to basically do what you want as long as you're having fun. They don't care too much about that. That was their philosophical approach in making Yote the most open with player freedom than any of their games so far. Which, I read this quote and hearing you guys talk about it, I mean, it seems like they rightly accomplished that, which is not feeling this pressure to go to the main mission, markers and have that sort of openness to do what you want.
It's all I see people say on like X is, 30 hours in, haven't done anything substantial for the main story. I'm following golden birds and foxes and randomly coming across stuff. So, and it doesn't help you go to the town so you can buy maps from the cartographer and you just start dropping them and going to them. So it's just constantly like, hey, you want to get upgrades for your character, and there's no actual, you don't get experience in the game. You don't level up technically. When you do these things, you get stuff. Like hey, you can unlock something on your skill tree, pick something, or your health is going to go up, or you get more spirit meter. They do have charms that you level up, and those are leveled up through different actions, and it'll tell you on the charm, like kill 10 enemies after throwing an empty bottle at them or something. Like that's one of them. And it'll just level up to the next tier. So there's all kinds of progression without being the typical open world. Hey, you got 600 experience for doing this quest. And here's how much your bar that filled up. Now go do something else, get a point and a skill point. You know,
is it kind of like a Breath of the Wild where like you could just keep like leveling up Atsu to the point where you're going to be over leveled getting back to the main campaign?
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure. And in a way, yeah, because like I was really shocked. So I like playing this game as a stealth game, so I like maxed out the assassination skill tree, and I was really shocked that it already allowed me to do that. And so, you know, it's can I talk about that? I mean, it's not really spoilers to talk about that, right? It's very similar to the Tsushima's. If you play Tsushima, then you know that you can assassinate multiple people. And so having that ability already is really strong when I like am do stealthing missions or stealthing this thing, you know, this group I run into or whatever. And I was shocked, and I don't remember if Tsushima felt like that. I just don't remember being able to go to that so quickly. I say quickly as if I'm not. I think it's actually close to probably 15 hours at this point, but still, it's like nothing is gated. Like if you wanted to just rush down your, I think if I remember looking at that right, if you want to rush down like your skill tree for your sword or whatever it is, like you can just do it. It's not really. I don't think much of it feels like gated at all.
Right. Yeah. They're not, they don't mess around with the game and getting you into it either. Like I'd say in 10 minutes, you're swinging a sword, attacking people. It's pretty quick.
I think you said first hour for the one thing, but I was like, hang on. Wasn't that like the first 5 minutes? Like you're just like there,
it's pretty
right?
fast. Yeah. It's fast. So that, and you know, I will say you definitely want to go north, Nana, because there's the one I was telling you about, the chain with the blade, and they this is all stuff I realized they were showing us in the previews, but like that does work into the assassination side. So I'd actually recommend going to get that as soon as you can, because there's some cool assassination stuff that they do that isn't even in the tree. I was surprised. Like I said, some of the stuff you come across just doing this isn't even part of the main quest line. It's like just side stuff. Hey, this is some really cool thing. Without spoiling it, you'll find it and be like, oh, okay, that's what it's really cool. Like you can do some fun assassination stuff.
Okay.
Like what I'm seeing. I think this is going to be like a 60, 70 hour game for me at this rate. 20 hours. I'm still working through the first, like we're at second boss, I guess now.
That was the same neighborhood for Tsushima. It's like 60, 70 hours.
Yeah, that's fair.
They said scope wise, they didn't want to make this thing like bigger than Tsushima, basically. They wanted to match it. All right, boys, we want to move into some other news stories here. We have the PS Plus Essential lineup for October, which is now live on PSN. I do want to call out that for Alan Wake 2, the Deluxe Edition upgrade is on sale, $6 until October 23rd. That includes the Night Springs and Lake House expansions. And there were 2 more games that were added to the Last Chance to Play section for the for extra and premiums. That would be both Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes, and The Devil in Me. So you've got like 2-something weeks left to play those games. Actually, less than that. Maybe like a week left to play those 2 games. Relatively short. And we had a big rumor coming in for what is going to be in that October PS Plus Extra lineup, which is Silent Hill 2. This was a report from Bilbo Kuhn writing for Deal Labs. It will be announced next week, and Silent Hill 2 will be a big marquee title for PS Plus Extra, which would be a huge get. Alan Wake 2 is already huge for Essential. Getting Silent Hill 2 into Extra after a year from launch, which I guess lines up with a rumor about the game going multi-plat to Xbox Series, Switch 2, possibly new DLC, and the much-needed PS5 Pro patch. But Silent Hill 2 would be big.
Yeah, Silent Hill 2 a year later. Yeah, go ahead, Nano.
I was just going to say, Silent Hill 2 doesn't have a Pro patch?
It does, but it's got shimmering issues, which we've seen a lot of PSSR titles, like that's the issue. Like foliage in particular can look very splotchy and highlight and desaturate over and over again. And sometimes it's very subtle. In other games, it sticks out a lot. So it's got a shimmering issue with like foliage.
Yeah, Silent Hill 2 a year later is in Halloween time. That and Alan Wake 2, that's very good for the service.
That'd be the biggest. This is like probably the best month they've ever had, at least for this year.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what else they pair with it. I mean, we already know about some of the older games because they didn't tell us what order we're getting them in, but we know at least one of them is probably going in this month.
Yeah. Tekken 3, Soul Calibur 3.
I'd be okay with that.
I'll take them. I'll take them if that's on premium. We had a new PS5 firmware out now, 25.06 12.02. They've only got one line on the changelog. We've made some security fixes to the system software. Never seen that one, boys. Almost always it's performance and stability improvements. The The other big story we had, though, just recently, written PS Store reviews are finally live. If you recall, this was something they were testing like a year ago, where they would send email invites out to people, and it would only be for like high-profile games. I remember it was like Helldivers 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They would invite you to write a written review for the game on the PS Store. Now it's like open. It's only open to desktop users, though. So it's not on console just yet. You can't see these on console, but you can finally, if you digitally own a game, go to the PlayStation Store on desktop and write a written review up to 4,000 characters. You can denote if you have if there's spoilers in your review. It tells you what version of the game the reviewer had. So base, digital deluxe, things like that. But otherwise, written reviews. Seems like the PS Store is finally getting a little bit modern here for an online marketplace, basically.
You have to own the game, though, right? That's what he said.
You do have to own the game. You don't have to launch it, though.
I was gonna say how long. I was like, well, how many hours you have to put into the game?
None. You can buy the game and review it immediately.
Which, to be fair, the return's not easy, so they're probably thinking, "Hey, if you want to give us $60 or $70 to review bomb this thing, you got to give us $60 or $70 to do it." Hey.
Well, no, but that's the thing, John, is that you could easily request a refund if you don't launch it. If anything, it's kind of a perfect storm for review bombing, because their store policy is do not download that game, do not even launch that game. We're not giving you your money back. So you could transact the game, write a written review, and then request a refund manually through the automated store. Either way, it's live now. You would imagine over time it'll show up on console, and hopefully they improve it a little bit more to where like it maybe tags on gameplay hours or something. Bring it up to Steam parity, basically. Steam's kind of the litmus test for this, I find.
Yeah, I mean, but Steam, it'll show you how many hours they've played of the game, at least.
Yep, bring it up to that is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like over time,
Yep. I mean, we'll see how it goes. At least you have to have the game. I feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's like you got to unlock a trophy. But what if the game's just broken? What if you buy it, it's busted, it doesn't even work? You want to leave a review to say it doesn't work, so that then you might be locked in otherwise.
Yeah,
that's user reviews are so tough to figure out.
They're tough, but the thing is, like, generally speaking, they seem to work 95% of the cases. Then you have those fringe 5% cases where people get angry about something that's maybe not realistic or irrational, and that's how you have the review bombing happen. It's a shame.
Yeah. I didn't realize that you can leave comments on Spotify podcasts.
Yeah, I realized that. But how do you respond to them? I
don't know.
The podcast
I got an alert,
and not as your personal account.
I got an alert that's like, "Yo, these people commented on the last one." I'm like, "Let me look," and I have no idea how to respond to it, because you're right. It is like you're right. It signs as personal.
It's just pulling from an RSS feed, so it's like, how do you respond as the actual podcast? Because you find that out, you let me know, because that's what I've been curious about.
Well, Mick says we got him through the tedious job of painting the outside of his house. Shout out to Mick. You're welcome.
Hell yeah, dude. House painting podcast. Let's go.
There you go. You can leave us a comment on Spotify, and I may read it if it's funny.
So, okay. If it's funny, you'll read it.
We'll see.
We had a lot of news stories this past 2 weeks about like merchandise, just general merchandise things. The more recent one is the PlayStation Gear Store shutting down. So there was a PSA added to the USA, UK, and EU shops. It's closing down December 31st. All sales are final, but they're running like actual promotions right now.
Wait,
but if you want
Gear shop is shutting down?
If you want Nano, if you want official PlayStation merchandise, now's a good time to buy, but it's your last time to buy. You want to get yourself an LE backpack? You want to get yourself a PlayStation tumbler? Maybe you want to get I don't know, like some socks or some shit. Last time to do it.
That's great, dude. I've actually bought so much stuff from the gear shop.
Oh, have you? I think I've only bought one thing from there one time. Never again.
Dude. Yeah. If my closet was just like right here, I would just I could grab so much stuff out of it. I still have like an unopened Last of Us 2 shirt from them that I was just like casually saving. I've bought so much.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. I've got like a blanket from this place. I've got I got so much stuff. I got coasters. Man,
you might be the reason why they kept the store open for as long as they did.
Right. I picked up a few things on sale, Ryan. I got the little Astro plush.
You were buying stuff, John.
No, I just got it now because it was on
lose.
sale. It was like 30% off or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Man, I'm glad you
and
told me
kids,
this.
The kids wanted the Astrobot, like they had journals.
I was buying shit now.
I am. I'm literally like, wait a minute.
So I got 2 Astrobot journal things and then the Astrobot plush.
Okay.
There's like 30 or 40% off. So it's like, the kids wanted them. It's fine.
I was gonna say, like, some of the sales are not super aggressive. Some of them, it's like, you really trying to move this product, but that is shutting down. That does kind of tie into a story I've got written down further down below. We'll get to that in a second. The other thing we heard about, though, is this official PlayStation art book is coming. A 400-page book called PlayStation: The First 30 Years, documenting 30 years of PlayStation history. It's going to include never-before-seen prototypes, concept sketches, and design models. Coming spring 2026, and pre-orders are open right now on readonlymemory.com. There's a standard edition for $125, and then the deluxe edition for $325 that is limited to 1994 copies, which is a clear reference to the launch year for PlayStation in Japan. I don't know if that's sold out just yet, but it's a pretty neat coffee table book.
Casual $300 coffee table book.
Dude, right? I was like, oh my God, it's insane. 125 is a lot for the standard one.
It's like the whole book. I saw that, and I looked. It looks nice. It does. But then I saw Amazon Prime had the complete Calvin and Hobbes hardcover pack of all comics that they ever released, and I bought that for $78.
Well, that's one way to spend $78.
It was.
You could have bumped it up another 50 though, and then got. I mean, John, I'll say this, John. It's cool to see like early prototypes and concept sketches that we've never seen before. Yeah. Cool. I will geek out at shit like that all day, every day.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I'll probably upload. So I'll upload a video like thumbing through it or something. I'll let people see it that way, so they don't got to drop $100-something bucks on a coffee table book, basically. In the same PS blog post, John, we also saw the announcement of PlayStation Cross Reebok 30th anniversary sneakers. So there's some sneakers coming too later this month. I guess those are like $200 a pop. Nano, you might want to look into that.
Do you buy those too?
Look pretty fly.
Yes.
What? Did you buy them too? Did you buy them too, Ryan?
I didn't know they were out. I thought they. Oh, that's the old one. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah,
he's got these though. Wait, so are you a sneakerhead?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right?
But
I think it's nice.
Look at that. It's like gloss. Oh, it's got the symbols there. There it is.
I like it.
This one, I think I got this for cheap. Oh, this side works. For whatever reason, they made them to where they actually like light up. I don't know why.
I can just kind of see it. Yeah.
They like light up, but the other side does not. So I got these at like a discount because the other shoe does not light up. So they were selling these at like a discount. They, for whatever reason, they really liked this color. I don't know. This color was expensive.
See, I like that more than what they announced. These are like basically gray themed for PS1, but there's like 3 of them, and they're like regionally based. So there's a sneaker for the US, one in the UK, one for Japan.
Who got the best one?
I think the US one looks nice, but I'm like not a crazy sneaker person. I would default that to Nano. See what he thinks about them. Look okay though. Trying to look fly.
Yeah, they look all right. I agree with you. I like this, and they had like multiple colorways for this too. But all the we said 3 pair, right? It's 3 pair. I think they're different. Yeah, they all look the same, or they have different style, but like they're all the same colorways.
Yeah. The other one is the other merch announcement is PlayStation Cross Magic the Gathering Secret Lair. There's going to be a super drop available October 27th, and it's a collaboration with various PlayStation IP. Last of Us Part 1 and 2, God of War, Greek and Norse eras, Uncharted, Horizon Forbidden West, and Ghost of Tsushima. I will say this, John. I like me some trading cards.
You're buying this too, huh?
I'm getting these, yeah, for sure. But here's the thing, like I'm not crazy on merch, and I don't really buy a lot of extra PlayStation shit outside of just straight up games. I really don't.
Was it the Final Fantasy Magic you were trying to get for a while?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Because I was at Best Buy picking up some stuff, and I look over and on the rack they just have like stacks of them.
Well, there's the play boosters, and then the collector boosters are the ones that like people went crazy for because there were serialized cards in there.
Okay, I'm gonna assume it's not that then. It was probably just the regular, whatever the regular ones were.
The MSRP for that box was like $450, and they still sell for like over $1,000.
Oh,
so it's Yeah, it's crazy. This is just a super drop on Secret Layer, which is like kind of an annoying thing they do occasionally, where it's like you have to go to the Secret Layer site, wait for it to go live, and then pre-order instantly. And it's one of those things where the shit sells out right away. So I don't know if that's going to be the case for this. The art looks cool though. I've been super into TCGs lately, primarily Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'm not going to front. These look sick, and I'm going to try and get them. The other merchandise announcement, though, is a new DualSense was announced, the Icon Blue Special Edition. This was inspired by PlayStation's heritage with layered shades of blue and a glossy pattern of PlayStation shapes on the touchpad. It's coming out October 20th to the US and Canada and October 28th for Mexico and Chile, priced at $84.99 USD. It's available exclusively at Walmart locations and also online as well. And they tied this announcement in with merch announcements for Walmart as well. So that's the thing about the gear store. I guess the play here is that they just don't want to fulfill this stuff themselves anymore, because they announced all this stuff like an Astrobot lunchbox, Twisted Metal figures, a jersey, backpack clips. These are all going to be at Walmart. So I don't know. Maybe that's like the thought process here. They're just moving this stuff over.
The controller I think looks good though. I mean, it's the two-tone blue and then the touchpad. Is that the first one we've seen outside of the DualSense Edge that has the symbols on it?
Yeah, that has like the PlayStation buttons. I mean, standard DualSense have little tiny PlayStation buttons, but they're super, super tiny.
But I mean, on like the touchpad itself.
Yeah, on the touchpad. I'm pretty sure.
I have to look, because I know it's on the back side and then all around for the grip. But I thought the touchpad was completely smooth. Because I noticed it on the edge. And I was like, that's weird that it's on the edge. I assume it's that same texture where it's. You kind of, it's like indented, but it's not like the grip around that back of it.
Right. Yeah. You're right. The standard controllers it's just flat. So this would only be like the edge. The edge has that.
Yeah. The edge does have it,
they're like a little bit bigger. It's a nice looking controller. I'm still waiting for the frosted blue one. They do that every PlayStation generation. That
like frosted, the slightly transparent one.
Yeah. The crystal blue. Yeah. They always do those. They still haven't done it.
That's a good
point.
See,
I look at this. I like blue controllers. I just don't buy stuff like this anymore. It's got to be highly specific stuff.
I have so many DualSense controllers, man.
Like the Magic cards.
Too many.
Well, that's if you're playing an Edge, right? If you use an Edge to play, why are you buying a standard one? Unless it's a shelf piece. I don't. That's why I skipped the Last of Us one, the Astrobot one.
You skipped the Astrobot one. See?
Wait. But you didn't skip Concord, right?
I skipped that. Oh, big time, Daddy-O. Big time.
I have the Concord one.
It's rare. It's like
that's the correct investment.
Yeah,
that was an investment.
I bought the Concord one before the shutdown. Like I went in and pre-ordered that one because I was just like, it actually looks cool. I have that one and I have the Astrobot one, and those are the only. Oh no, I have the Spider-Man one also.
Do you have the PlayStation? The PlayStation Anniversary one?
Yeah, but it came with my 30th anniversary Pro.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one loose or one still in whatever.
I think I have the all black one. I have a red one. I have one that I had colorway make into like a purple one.
I always want to do
legitimately have like 12. I have so many DualSense controllers. It's good. I mean, it doesn't feel painted or anything. And they did white, but I think it's like over there somewhere. Actually, I think it's right there. I think that's it right there. That's it. It was done up pretty well though. But I have too many DualSense controllers. I don't need another one. My gosh, it has to be for some crazy game or something. I don't know. That I would only buy it really for another game. I don't know if I need another. Just like, oh, that's blue. I'm gonna get that now.
The Yote ones were really cool looking, weren't they?
The Yote one is what did we call it, Ryan?
The way it was described to me from Ant Dude was like, are you going to get the baby poop controller?
Oh, never mind. Yeah, okay.
So now if you look at it, you're not going to be able to
He ruined it for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Like mentioned it. I was like,
what about the 20th anniversary God of War one though? Will that one scratch an itch or no?
For me, I dropped buying all these extra. There's just no point. What am I doing with them? What am I doing with them?
Maybe if there was like a new God of War game like that 2.5D and they had a controller, I might consider it then.
Are you gonna play with it?
Maybe.
Oh man, but the packaging on this one looks pretty good, man.
You have a whole shelf of stuff back there. You could put it up as like, part of the background.
Okay, but this is my part though. Is like my shit's full. Like I'm just moving things around at that point.
It is. You can't even
That's
put that
why-
case that has a lot of stuff in it on camera. Can't even
Well,
see it.
I could, but it's like almost full now.
Mm.
Dude, I tell you
full.
what, man. I'll take some of that off your hand so that you can fit some of these controllers out there.
Nah, I'm all right.
Wait, is that PSX functioning?
I think that one in the cabinet's dead, but I have a functioning one that's complete in box.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that one?
probably the same. The HDD is dead.
Oh,
Whatever-
come on, man. We
whatever.
can fix that now.
I could, but it's just it's a nice example piece. The consoles
yeah,
in there
that's
are
cool.
are like in pristine condition. That's why they're in there.
Except the one that doesn't work.
No, but the physical box is a clean
Yeah.
example. That's what I'm looking for. Museum quality. Quality. Yeah.
Got it.
Well, anyway, that's all the. Well, no, we have one more semi merch related announcement. The PlayStation concert US dates are getting canceled. So that concert thing they're doing, the remaining US tour dates for 2025 have been canceled. There's still some 2026 dates that are available, and I guess the one in Jersey this year is still going on. But there's been, we would assume, struggling ticket sales. I guess they're also expensive. Like people have been sharing screenshots and like, it's like, how are they charging this much for this shit?
It was they were really expensive. Yeah, I was looking at trying to go, and it was expensive.
Well, and that is like, I'm no expert on like the entertainment industry, but the only thing I ever read about this shit is that concerts have been like really struggling lately. Like even big name performers are not filling out stadiums. So you combine that with a PlayStation concert, you could see how this probably didn't stand much of a chance. I guess the Europe ones like were the ones that aired, like people really enjoyed them, but I don't know. I just feel like there's a certain novelty to this that can't really sustain itself.
How much were the tickets? Were they that expensive?
I don't.
The
I guess
cheapest ones were like
depends.
200, I believe. Like,
Oh wow,
like cheap, like that, and that's like you're in the back. I think I was like it was $350, $400 a ticket or something like that. Like I hope I'm not speaking like out my ass on that, but I really believe that's what I remember seeing. It was like it was very expensive.
God, Lord, that's just so much money.
I mean, yeah, that's like more expensive than going and seeing like super high profile like art. I don't know. It was crazy.
It's the price of a DualSense Edge, right there. Pulse Explorer, a Pulse Elite. Come on now. Yeah, that's going on. All right, we have actual PlayStation news now. Hardware news. So the new PS5 model, as we were safely expecting, I think. We got a teardown. It's definitely using some cheaper components. This video was uploaded by Austin Evans on their channel, and they did the teardown of CFI 2116 or 2216. I guess it depends on where the console is sourced from. But this is the digital edition 825 gigabyte model, the one that went from 1 terabyte down to 825. The exterior is now all matte plastic. So both the upper panels and the middle black trim is matte finish as well. It weighs about 100 grams less. The metal shroud covering the fan is gone. That's all plastic. There appears to be some less copper piping. Austin did some power draw tests. Still seems about the same, basically. Just a console model revision, a soft model revision, which is not unusual for how all these companies usually operate. But this one is just, trimmed down perhaps a little bit more with an increased price, obviously.
Yeah, less size for the SSD even.
Yeah, I will say that black trim. It's interesting. I'm surprised it took them this long to matte that out.
I like that more than the glossy stuff.
I was gonna say, I think people actually prefer that, but like that is not uncommon for Sony. They'll do these soft revisions where PS3s will go matte. The PS4's black tray or that black panel went matte.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised it took them this long to do it on PlayStation 5. So
yeah, that's the one thing about it is I want that like the matte black plastic. That's all I really want from it. I don't care about the rest of it. Like I just want that because the glossy stuff is just annoying me.
See, I like it. It sucks that like if you even so much as sneeze at it, you get like a scratch on it.
Yeah.
See, going back to the display over there. Those PS3s are new in box. I took them out and threw them right in there. You will never see a glossy black PlayStation 3 that clean. I can't open it anymore. If I open it, they'll get scratched up.
So you can't just look at it.
You can look from behind the
yes, from behind the glass. Yes.
Yeah.
6 feet.
They look
6
nice.
feet.
We also had a rumor about a new DualSense with a removable battery coming. This was reported by PPE.pl, which they were recently correct about Microsoft Flight Simulator being announced and like one or two other things. The site's been picking up some traction lately for their sources, but they have a source claiming that the new PS5 Pro model coming is going to use 3% less power. Whatever. The real news here is that they're reporting a DualSense version 3 is going to launch next month, and it will include a removable battery. John, is this to be in compliance with that EU regulation for 2027?
Yeah, I think we were talking about that before. Yeah, that's probably what it's for. And I'm annoyed because this is what I want the DualSense Edge to be able to do, is have a removable battery. So now this is going to happen again, and I'm going to have to buy another DualSense Edge because I'd rather have that.
So how's that going to work with the Edge, though? Because the Edge has the buttons on it, the stop triggers, and also the back buttons, you know? Like a standard controller, you can see easily where they could just cut out a tray.
They cut it out. Yeah.
And I would assume it's still going to be a lithium-ion battery. It's not like they're switching to AA's or anything. Because that regulation is simply about making it easily user accessible, not requiring special tools, which gives it kind of a gray area because arguably this is compliant because it wouldn't, I mean, it's just screws. You don't have to solder or anything. So I'm actually surprised Sony didn't maybe look for an exemption.
Yeah,
if we assume this is true,
the 8-bit Do controller used to be pretty, I think they stopped doing it, but at one point you could use AA batteries or the battery pack they packaged with it, which is kind of cool. I don't think Sony's doing that, but I like the idea of being able to change the battery out with just plastic tab you remove, obviously, for the future. But that was always the thing with these controllers. You don't really run into it as much, but the PS4 controllers I'm noticing are getting more and more in that area of you want to replace the battery pack. Yeah. It's happening a lot. And the nice thing is that'll open up to accessories where you take the back off, you get a different kind of back that maybe protrudes further, and you can put a larger battery in it.
Yeah, that's cool. You could probably see some great options from third parties.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that would not shock me if we saw that. Because remember with the PSP, they sold us this massive battery door, and you had this huge battery hanging off one side. Now you get 2.5 hour batteries. It's like, oh, great, thanks. Massive chunk out of the battery now.
Well, apparently that's coming next month. So we'll see.
They're gonna get me for another DualSense. I just said I don't need another DualSense. Now they're gonna get me for another one.
How about you, Nano? Sounds good to you?
My gosh.
Yeah. What it makes it think like to be able to do. Have you guys ever ran the Still series? Was it the Actus Pros or whatever? Where you say it, either way, it literally comes with 2 batteries, so you can put one into the base station that charges, and so then when it dies, you just can take the one that's out, put the one that you've been charging in, and put that one into the base station to charge it. So like I'm sitting here thinking like you could just have like a pack always ready to go. You know, if they were smart, maybe they sell something where you can just always have one sitting over there. It's like ready to go. Just pop it in.
Get the
so you don't ever have to you don't ever have to like plug back in anymore.
Yeah, I have noticed. I will say, Ghost Yote, I'm noticing this DualSense Edge, and it's like not a couple hours, but like I'm noticing it's shorter battery life with this game. I'm noticing it.
I almost never hit like the ceiling on these controller batteries, but the Edge I absolutely do. I'm like super mindful of like even just am I going to the bathroom? Dock it. Just dock the damn thing.
I have the thing right here, like the Sony one where you just throw it on there. And I do that too. If I leave the room, I gotta pause it, like, all right, throw it on there real quick.
Yeah, well, you can't take a bathroom break and leave it on like the tape. Like you should just like dock it for that 2 minutes.
Yep. I get to the end of, like when I'm playing the game for 2 hours and you hit the PlayStation button, you look and it's 1 bar, but you don't really know like how much that bar is worth because it seems to kill the first 2 bars really fast. So you're just left in the dark with it. I don't know. It's maybe we'll get better battery life with the V3 too. Maybe they figured that out.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do still have 6-axis controllers that hold a charge, John.
I mean, I told you I found one of their DualShock 3. I told you I found them $15 a piece. Good shape too. They're right over there. I'm trying to build up to where I have like 8 clean ones. Yeah. Trying to build up a nice collection of DualShock 3s.
Oh, you are an avid DualShock 3 collector.
Yes. The 6-axis controllers now. Those going to.
I opened one the other day, and it still worked, and I was very happy.
DualShock 3, like it was sealed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been sitting on it for forever, and I was like, what am I doing? I technically need it. I did not.
Oh man, that's got like YouTube short written all over it.
I probably should have it. in the same vein, I was like trying to find. Did you guys ever have one of the PlayStation TVs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, where you could they sold the thing where you could play Killzone and like one person would see their POV and the other person would see their POV or whatever.
Simulview.
Yes, my PlayStation. I didn't really think about this, but the batteries in those are shot, and I was like, dang man, I was really wanting to try it with.
Yeah, I got some new ones.
What?
Yeah, I've got that too.
I got another new one too.
Yeah, so over under on those still taking a charge, huh?
I actually, what's funny is the other ones I have, I changed the batteries on them. You can do that. It's in the I believe the center part where it sits on your nose. The battery's right there, so it's nice to know that if the battery starts to swell and explode right in your face.
So what's your storefront page?
My storefront page.
Yeah, so I can just go ahead and I can order that and I can send them in to you, and then
Yeah. I remember I changed them out a while ago too, because I keep saying I'm gonna do that PlayStation 3 TV video someday.
It requires soldering, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like these little batteries too. They make larger ones now, and you get them on eBay, but they solder in. It's like 2 points. It's pretty easy to do, but it's small, so like batteries are tiny. But if for beginner level soldering, it's pretty easy.
Oh.
So I'm guessing you're doing that soon because those were in spitting distance, John. You don't just have.
They just came in.
Yeah, but you don't just have those for nothing. Right next to you, ready to grab them.
We'll see.
All right, we did have a very big thing drop today, though, which is PlayStation and AMD talking about probably PlayStation 6. They're not outright saying it, but it was a new 8-minute video released on the official PlayStation YouTube channel. This was a conversation between the PS5 system architect, Mark Cerny, speaking with AMD's Jack Hune, the SVP and GM of Computing and Graphics Group. And they were talking about the Amethyst collaboration, which was announced during the PS5 Pro seminar. There's 3 main announcements that they talk about here. So they preface the entire thing with what Mark Cerny talked about during that seminar, which was retreading the same topic of rasterization not really being where the performance gains are going to be. They can't just brute force advancement with raw power alone. So, for example, FSR and PSSR are computationally very expensive on the GPU, which is made up of compute units. So subdividing those problems on these are very inefficient. So the solution here is what AMD is calling neural arrays, which connects the CUs with each shader engine, enabling bigger ML models with less overhead. Now, getting into the ray tracing and path tracing side, which was another key principle during that seminar, they talked about how that has also basically plateaued trying to brute force that. So Jack reveals what they're calling Radiance cores, and this is going to be a new dedicated hardware block to handle ray tracing and path tracing in real time. And the final reveal is the universal compression. So this is going to be a system that looks at everything going into memory, and it's going to compress it when possible, only spit out what is completely necessary. And this will dramatically lower memory bandwidth usage. And this will also allow a new level of efficiency in asset streaming, which will then enable a healthier frame time budget. Now, all this is to conclude near the end of the video that Mark Cerny says, quote, "The results are really quite promising, and I'm really excited about bringing them to a future console in a few years' time." Sony will never call these things PlayStation 6 until they're ready, but I think what we just got today is the 3 key principles of PlayStation 6's SoC, which is these 3 things from AMD.
I was actually pretty happy coming away from that. I saw some people who were concerned coming away from it. The whole time, it just sounded like they were explaining that you're going to look at the PS6, and I think Cerny even said at one point that it's going to punch above the paper specs, which tells me that I think people are going to have those crazy expectations where they're like, oh, it's going to have 36 gigabytes of RAM or something, and they're going to have it's going to be this crazy 5090 in a box, and then you're going to get the actual raw numbers, not necessarily to that level, but all this other stuff going into it would put it well above what the numbers would say. And that, I think that's the smart thing to do right now, because man, parts are expensive. We see it where everything's going up in price, and you got to pivot a bit. And I think this is part of it is, wow, do we want to introduce $1,000 console, or do we want to have a $600 to $700 console at launch? Maybe even less if we can do that with the Canis chip, as people were mentioning. That's what I took away from that is not a massive GPU being jammed in there. trying to figure out other ways with this partnership with AMD. And that's the major thing is PSSR and FSR both are being developed in tandem, AMD and Sony. And even mentioning things like heavy focus on ray tracing, we're starting to see that used. Like we've talked about Ghost of Yote and how good that game looks. The ray tracing pro mode is one of the big reasons it looks that good on the PS5 Pro. So if we add more of that, but just to the next level, next generation, it might not matter if this thing comes out and it's like a 10 teraflop now for the PS6 or PS5, and we go up to like 18 teraflops, 20 teraflops, the flopflation stuff. People won't really care as much when they start seeing these games look like that, even if it's 1440p and then it's upscaled to 4K, or it's some weird in between resolution, and then we upscale it to 8K, something like that. I came away from that fairly optimistic for what they're going to do next generation with PS6.
For sure. I think that's the key takeaway, is that a lot of, and you're seeing this with like other companies too, is this plateau with silicon. Like efficiency is the name of the game right now. They're all looking for ways to like really optimize these chips in such a manner where like that's what's been so argumentative about this generation is, we're not getting 60 FPS reliably. Oh, we're not getting 4K image quality, or rather native 4K, which is like it's a scapegoat. You don't need native 4K. We have reconstruction methods that can basically get us there, and they're near 4K image qualities. But it just seems like it's really about optimizing power efficiency and making sure that the frame budget is nice and healthy so that you can get crisp looking games that can possibly start punching above 60 FPS at a 4K image quality reliably with PSSR being deployed, and also ray tracing, possibly path tracing, since they are going to be very resource intensive. So to hear that there's a dedicated block on the SoC, again, we assume this is PlayStation 6, more or less. Yeah, if we're talking about the high-end space, not the Canis chip, I think that it does. It bodes well, John. I think this says a lot about their methodology going into this console.
Sean is very proud of this comment because he just dropped it in a group chat with me on Twitter. So he wanted to really make sure I knew about this apparently. Thank you, Sean.
Hey man, I got Scatterboo on my fantasy team right now. And people didn't know that I knew he had what it takes to come up and be good. And he's getting me points. They're making fun of my pick, and I was like, hang on now.
Sean had no idea who that was until like the second game. So
he didn't really get to play first game much. But I only knew because I watched a lot of college ball. And last year he was in like a championship like a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And he went insane. So that's funny.
Good stuff. See, okay. I guess Sean's good. He likes the Giants, so he's watching them. He thinks he watches preseason basketball. Don't let him fool you. What were we talking about? The PlayStation 6. Now, how much do you think the PlayStation 6 is going to cost?
In a world now where some of our consoles were actually have appreciated, I think in a perfect world, $599. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're getting $499 anymore. And I think in a realistic world, probably $699.
With or without a disk drive out of the box?
Oh, without. There's no way this thing's shipping with a disk drive anymore.
Ryan just like moved in the seat a minute. He's like, hold on.
I think it will. I think it'll do another 2 SKUs. You think so? 2 SKUs. You'll have digital and desk again.
Oh, yeah. Wait. So, okay. Well, I'm assuming you guys have already discussed this. Sorry if I missed that.
No, I just wanted to see where you were with it. I was just curious.
How much? So do you think $699 is realistic with a disk drive?
Well, the thing is, everything we're hearing about this console is that the company is like hyper aware of like just the current global economy, and obviously the tariffs too, which they can't necessarily, they try to account for, but like by the time this thing comes out and what we assume is late 2027, we would still be in the current administration. So they're highly aware of how expensive this thing will be, but also wanting to be mindful of that to customers that are very price sensitive and wanting to spend less on entertainment. If we consider that it takes 4-ish years to like build an SoC and ship a console, I would think that they were right in the middle of understanding we have a goddamn problem and we better be able to solve this by PlayStation 6. So I think they are, well, not to get off on a tangent here, but I think PS5 Pro is sort of that test bed of like, for a low volume, high end box, what can we, reasonably get away with I assume a healthy profit margin. But for the base machines, I think they will be as aggressive as they possibly can be without compromising on performance. And I think that too speaks to the double SKU thing. We at least had an insider gaming report that implied that is what the company is targeting. That report was from Tom Henderson, by the way. He's had a rock solid source at I assume Sony or the AMD's. What's got to be Sony. It's almost always hard.
Sony.
Yeah, it's always hardware plans that have been dead on the money every time he puts a report out. So I'm not saying it's true. It's a rumor, but I mean, it tracks. I think we're going with 2 SKUs. I think they're going to try to be as price sensitive as they possibly can be. I would think they are trying to hit at least a $500 box again.
Really? Okay. I was thinking because we think they'll have 2 SKUs maybe with that, the Canis chip or whatever for the handheld.
Yeah.
We already mentioned this. The system they could put out that I'd be the most interested in, maybe not necessarily the one I would play the most, because I do think I'd still like to see what the big box can do. But that handheld would be is so interesting to me to see what they can pull off. And that's the one I'd really want to follow. But 500, you think, for that? Or like the Canis one would be less?
Well, I mean, I think Canis would probably be like $500 something, but it's tough because there's also that suggested rumor of a Canis performance profile in a console form factor, which at that point you don't have to size that SoC down into a handheld. So they've got more wiggle room for that SoC and the physical box, not no screen, no video out, things like that. So if that thing is even realistically a thing, they could be hitting a price target that would be actually pretty surprising to most people. That would be the Canis, though. We're talking the high profile or the high performance box.
Yes, I
think they would be. I think they're going to try to be as aggressive as they possibly can. I don't know if 500 is like super realistic, but the Pro it's very much a low volume sort of high performance machine. You just can't ship the mainline console in that price category. You just can't.
No, I just don't think it'd work for them for the volume they're looking to move.
No, you just can't do it.
I was kind of thinking 600 without the disk drive, and then another 80. Maybe they might even say, "Hey, the disk drive's $100, just flat out. We're gonna make some money on this thing for all you old people, basically, who want to buy discs from us still." And I would be like, "All right, fine. I guess this is some 700 then." But that's what I figured they would do. It's basically a $700 system with the disk drive attached.
Yeah, I think that's just too steep, even disk drive consoles.
Sure.
But it's also tough to think about like the sales ratio for that expected machine. Like in 2020, when PS5 came out, the sales ratio, like globally, 80-20. 80% were disc consoles, 20% were digital.
Right.
Most recently, now it's down the middle. It's 50-50. But they still 50% of the time sell a console equipped with a disk drive. And if this thing ships in 2 years, I mean, I know a lot changes in 2 years, but it's not going to change that much to the point where a disk drive isn't like that relevant.
Sure.
I think a disk console will still be somewhat attainable. Somewhat. They've got to be so much
400 to 500 mark then.
Yeah, Sony's not dumb. I mean, this the thing I always say is like, yeah, they're a big publicly traded company. They want your money. They still have a responsibility to themselves of making a compelling product at an affordable price. So at the end of the day, they still have to make something that is compelling, affordable, and you want to buy it. They're just not going to accomplish that at a $700 price tag,
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even move Ghost of Yotei up to $80. They got that at 70. So that's the thing I'm still a little surprised about. It's like, it's just been Nintendo at this point with Mario Kart World. Even that was bundled in. But I'm thinking, okay, Wolverine's expensive game to make. Spider-Man 3 expensive game to make. Maybe that's when we see it. I was a little surprised they haven't even taken a shot at it yet, but maybe next year. So maybe next generation. Yeah, subsidize the system more with that.
I would like to think Wolverine is not an $80 game.
We saw how much that Spider-Man 2 was over $300 million to make. I mean, Spider-Man 3, I wonder how much that's going to cost to make.
So when y'all are saying the Canis, is that referring to the hybrid Switch PlayStation console? Is that what you're talking about when you say that?
The handheld, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to do apparently there's word that, and they might just be playing around with it in R&D and we never see it, that there would be kind of that PlayStation or the PS TV, the Vita TV kind of setup where they take that same chip but move it into like a smaller box for your TV, weaker system, almost Xbox Series S kind of comparison to the X, and they go that route for a cheaper model.
Man,
It's funny. I could see them doing that, and then they phase it out because nobody buys it.
I'm buying it. I got to see how weird that thing is.
It's weird though. Like historically, a lot of those like lower price SKUs, like they just don't. Even the 20 gig PS3, like they phase. Nobody bought it.
Oh,
it's weird.
Leave that 20 gig PS3 alone.
But it's true.
I know. I know.
That's what my buddy went with. He would come over with his 20 gig PS3 and have to hardwire it because it didn't come with Wi-Fi.
Oh, what a bitch!
And I always liked the aesthetic of that one. He sold it without telling me just like a year ago, and I was like, dude, I would have bought that off you because I just liked the way that console looked because
it's like all black
because it was fully blacked out. Yeah, I just thought, dude, I love the PS3, man. The PS3 is like my favorite console. So it's just
have one of those 20 gigs downstairs, all black.
Oh, do you really?
And yeah, and the people figured out how to add Wi-Fi to it now. So I thought about doing that. I thought about adding Wi-Fi to it. So I don't know. It doesn't have this still doesn't have the card slots on the front.
Nope.
Nope.
Damn. Can't put a Memory Stick Pro Duo in there. No compact flash or SD. Damn.
It's the end of the world.
Crazy. I feel like I was the only person that used those slots.
Yes. You were just you.
No, I used them.
You did? Cool.
I bet you there's one in my hang on.
I know there's one in mine right now. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah.
All right, reveal
16 gig.
Oh.
Yeah. Is it this one? 16 gig?
Oh man, it's close. It's only it's a whopping 2 gig.
Transcend.
Transcend.
Did they even make these anymore?
No,
Are they still in business?
So. Just the two of you keeping them around.
I liked locally storing files, dude. I was so mad that PS4 didn't do it. Speaking of PS4, why don't we segue into our next story here? There's a rumor from Insider Gaming that Sony is winding down certain services for PlayStation 4. So Insider Gaming has obtained documentation that says Sony is going to sunset certain PSN features for PS4 in spring 2026 when developers send games in for submissions. So these features are the Activity Feed Web API, Title Small Storage, and Title User Storage, so TSS and TUS, Users and Profiles, Word Filters, and Shared Media Web API. To explain what this means to people, it just means when a developer is making a PS4 game and they send it in for submission, there's going to be a hard cutoff on if your game can or cannot use those features. So after spring 2026, they'll still accept PS4 submissions, but you cannot use these parts of the PSN backend. But it does imply that Sony is winding down the console.
Good. Let that system rest. Get it out of here. Got enough of the PS4.
This is the point I made before when I made that discussion video. It's like it's game submissions. At a certain point, Sony will just say, no, you can't submit PS4 games anymore.
Yeah. I figure they don't want to go into a PS6 generation with the PS4 still lingering around.
I don't even know if it's necessarily an issue if most publishers walk away from it. Honestly, the only unusual thing is like a handful of bigger publishers are still doing, the big AAA stuff on PS4. And those kind of IP definitely like stopped on PS2 and 3, like much earlier on a launch line basis. Like last Call of Duty on PS3 was Ghosts. Pretty sure. No, Advanced Warfare, 2014, I think. So
that
like
would be Advanced Warfare, yeah.
Ghosts
was the launch PS4 title.
Yep. So I mean, there's definitely outliers with PS4, but dude, whenever I try to make a video about PS4 cross-gen stuff, I struggle to find native PS4 games now. It's almost always small stuff. Like really, so I don't know. I feel like I'm the only person that's saying this, but everyone left. It's not
like Marvel Rivals went backwards to it.
Yeah, that one's weird for sure. But the odd thing is like, don't you think there's a sort of cyclical logic for some studios in that if we ship a native PS4 version, that's great for the Switch 2 version that we're making?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Jedi Survivor going backwards to it was also weird when that got announced.
Yeah. I think it's just based on a studio by studio decision,
Sure.
Gekish and Squadra can be played on a PS4. That's a PS4 game. because it's also a Switch game and a mobile game.
See?
There you go.
PS4 is never going to die.
Good.
It's been around forever.
Yeah. I love it. All right. We got a very interesting, weird thing going on. So Sony and Giant Squid, something going on here. Spotted by Gamatsu, Giant Squid and Sony Interactive Entertainment filed a trademark for Sword of the Sea, which that game recently came out. It was released via PS Plus Extra. So they both filed this trademark in Europe on October 7th. And this would mean SIE and Giant Squid are listed as the owners. Now, for those that don't know, Matt Nava, the co-founder of Giant Squid, they were an art director at that game company on Journey and Flower. So just to sort of give you that like logic of, is this possibly an acquisition? Well, we don't know. We don't know, but typically with Sony and the way they build relationships with studios over time, usually it's a long-standing partner. In recent years during the PS5 cycle, it's like new studios, but that's still foundationally based on established talent in the game business. So you think of Jade Raymond, Tony Hsu, Dave Anthony, Jason Blundell. So Matt Nava is a name they've worked with before. I don't know if they are acquiring the studio because it would be a little bit strange just in that PS Studios recently has been nothing but large studios. Mm-hmm. They don't really do the stuff in-house anymore. It could also just be a standard publishing agreement, which is not uncommon at all. So, John, what do you make of this?
You think they're making the move?
I'd be surprised for sure. The thing I always say about games like these with Sony is that they never walked away from them. They just don't do them in-house. That's the stipulation. Yeah. I mean, they used to do the stuff all the time in-house. Now they just do a China Hero program, Indie Hero, Mina Hero. They align themselves with these games through PS Plus Extra. They just don't finance them entirely in-house.
Right.
So this would kind of imply that if maybe they're going back to that. If anything, I think that's great. I think there's value to doing these games in-house. I wouldn't be so quick to say that, considering it could be just a regular publishing agreement.
Yeah, that's what I thought it might be that as well. Just a regular publishing agreement, just through filings that people found. But
yeah.
No, that is interesting to see that pop up.
Well, apparently because if you remember, Matt Nava said that Sony saved this game. That was the PS Plus Extra deal. Yeah. But it's funny, I always harken back to like the early PS4 days. I think early PS4 and below, like it was pretty standard industry practice to where it's like, if you do a publishing deal, almost always they want the IP. It's actually a lot more competitive nowadays where independent teams get to keep their IP. Like they can pitch to multiple big teams. And usually if they're independent, like they can like arrange that and keep the IP for the studio. Sony is publishing Stellar Blade and Rise of the Realm. They don't own those. But dude, like the PS3 days, if you got a deal with Sony, they own the IP. That's how Sony has like hundreds of IP under their belt. Because every individual deal they made, they kept the IP. They don't do that anymore.
Well, the game does have that like award-winning sort of feel to it now because of how well it did with reviews. And it's a great game. It is. It's a very different kind of game too. And it's that artsy style. Mm-hmm. But it is a game that I think does have, if they wanted it to continue on, maybe they want to do more with it. And maybe it's not necessarily we want to keep it on PlayStation. Maybe it's we want to build on it. That is the part that caught my eye and was kind of interesting. Like, could we get something beyond I don't know, Sword of the Sea 2, but could they turn it into like a bigger title? Because remember, I told you it's like once you beat it once, hour and a half maybe to play through it again. It's quick. It's like a one sitting kind of game. But what if it ended up being a more robust 7 or 8 hour game that they work on over the next couple of years in partnership? So that's the thing I was hoping would come from it, is we just get more of this kind of game. It's a cool game, but it is kind of that, here's what we could do, if we had more time, or as they mentioned, it saved when PlayStation Plus saves your game and it was a 2-hour experience. I don't know how great that is on how much confidence that necessarily instills for the support network on that game. But maybe it's just publishing. I'd like to see more from it, though. I think it'd be cool if it actually grew into something.
Like a House Marquee situation? I think that's how you say that, the name of them, right?
Housemarque.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because Resogun, and then now we're waiting for Ceres to come out. So, yeah, that would be really cool. There's a lot of talent there. I don't know if you got a chance to play it, Nano, the Sword of the Sea. But it is a really cool game. It went into PlayStation Plus, and it's still there, right, Ryan? Or am I or is
Yeah.
it like was the essential? Okay, cool.
It's
I wasn't
probably,
sure if it was essential or premium or what, but
probably 6 months. It just went in,
Okay.
so there's plenty of time to claim it and play it for a little bit.
it's like a 2-hour experience the first time you play it, and it's another OLED game. So if you have like a nice big OLED TV, and it's kind of like SSX mixed with Tony Hawk, but an adventure game.
John's getting paid by Big OLED over here. Any chance he gets?
I should be. But that's the thing. It's like it's way different on OLED versus like an LCD, and these are the kind of games that show it. It's basically it's like that vibrant colors versus like darker contrasting colors, and it really sticks out. I recommend it though. Good game.
You played that Game Company stuff, right? Like Flower or Journey, Nano, like Flow.
Yeah.
It's like the same art director founded this company, and this is their new game. Yeah. Next up, we have Helldivers 2, and I guess it's going to only be Helldivers 2 for the foreseeable future. Recently on the community Discord, the Arrowhead CEO, Shams Georgiani, said that the studio has no plans for Helldivers 3, and they want to take this game as far as they can go. Quote, myself and the directors agree we would love this to be a forever game, assuming we get a grip on the performance and dev practices. We can keep expanding it for a long time. PlayStation is super supportive.
This is the thing with this kind of a game, right? So because I think about Destiny 2 as well. It's a real shame they put the 2 on the end of these games, because if it was just like Destiny something, or for this Helldivers something rather than Helldivers 2, there's always that thought in your mind. I don't know if it's just me. If there will be a Helldivers 3 someday, just because there's like that expectation since you're on 2. Well, there's gonna be a 3. That's the one thing. Like, I mean, we know they Sony didn't expect it. Arrowhead, I mean, I'm sure they believed in it, but to do this kind of performance, I don't know if they were expecting that. That's the one thing that annoys me about these live service games, is when you get some sequel with a number in it and they're like, oh, this is the forever game. It's like, well, why'd you call it the second one? I don't know. It bothers me for some reason.
you really don't like that, do you, John?
The 2, it I don't know. I don't know. It bothers me.
I get what you mean though. Have you ever played Guild Wars?
Yeah. I remember back in the day, it was a big deal because World of Warcraft, you needed the subscription fee, but that game, Guild Wars, you didn't. And they came out with Guild Wars 2.
Yes.
And
it's been Guild Wars 2 since 2012.
Yes. I checked in. I was like, what if there's Guild Wars 3? No, it's still just 2.
Nope. It's still, and they did announce like several years back that they were working on a 3, but then now they've like started this sort of yearly, less expensive expansion sort of approach to it, where it's like they do an expansion literally every year now for $30. And so it's just like, are you still working on 3? Because their team's not big. But yeah, it's and that's the only reason why I'm even aware of Guild Wars, is because my mom was like, you're not getting a game that requires a subscription, so I couldn't play WoW. And then we were in a store, and it had, in fact, my box that I have from it is literally right there. It like says on it for free, no subscription needed, blah blah blah. And I was like, we just have to buy the game, and then I can play online. And anyway, yeah, I think about that all the time with Guild Wars too. I'm like, man, if this was just Guild Wars and it didn't have that 2 attached to it, it'd be like a lot better. But it's just been Guild Wars 2 for 13 years, almost 14 years.
That was back in the days of like the weird seedy underbelly of free to play MMOs. Everyone, like, they'd come out constantly, and everyone was like, we used to have that Guns game, which I think is making a comeback, which is hilarious back then. And there were so many weird, I think they were coming out of like Korea, and I think there was a couple out of China, but it was like just random games would pop up. And it was like WoW, Guild Wars, and then just a whole list of random free-to-play games that kind of look the same most of the time.
Silk Road, does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah, I remember that one. There were so many of them back then on PC. But Guild Wars was a big one just because it was a one-time purchase game, so it had this higher quality to it compared to the others, but you didn't pay the subscription fee. And I remember the box like vividly, but I also remember it got destroyed in like my basement flood way back in the day. But those are the good days, dude. It was like the weird Wild West days of PC gaming back then.
I want to make it so we see everything on Nano Shelf.
Yeah. There it is. Yep. Does that one have like the opening? Does the front open at all?
So
no?
Both sides
yes.
open.
Okay. I knew it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's Velcroed and everything. Yep. Free online play. There it is. Yeah.
Dude, remember when it was special to go buy a game? Like, you actually
Yep.
there's like a whole like
The whole thing
booklet in
going
here,
on there, right? Yeah, it's like a little encyclopedia going on in those MMOs.
Yeah, dude. Man, gaming used to be something, Look at that. Look at that. You're not getting nothing like that now. Like,
nope.
I'm pretty sure it's in full. Yeah, it's in full
color. Yep. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, dude.
You got value in that box. Now they just have the tabs to remind you that there's no manual there.
Feral man shows paper at a camera. Look at this.
Hey.
Look what we used to have.
That was it. That was it back in the day.
Oh, well, we have more live service news. I guess we'll mention this real quick. Marathon stuff going on. There's going to be a closed technical that's going to take place October 22nd to the 28th. You can register right now on Bungie's site. And on the flip side of this, we had a data mine recently reported by the Game Post that the base game is, or at least was planned to be, a $40 game at launch. And the deluxe edition was going to be $60, and the season pass was $10, but that would be cosmetics only. And as far as in-game content, it was expected to launch with 28 weapons total. $40 game.
This is a thing because of that price point. And here's what people need to realize about these Sony live service games. I don't think they want to make any of them free to play because they wanted to also sell you the PlayStation Plus subscription. That's part of it. It's all tied into that. And if it's free to play, you don't need the PS Plus subscription. But here's what they should do: sell it for its $40. If you have PlayStation Plus Premium, throw it on there. It's a premium game. And then you got to keep your subscription anyway. So I think it works out either way for them if they want to do that. But it seems like it's going to be 40. But that's the strategy I would go with. But I'm also not running the company. So what do I mean?
Do you guys think that this game has a chance?
That's the $1 million question, right?
I just don't. I don't know, man. It's a steep hill to climb now after
Arc Raiders is out this month, isn't it?
It is, and I'm actually really excited about playing that game. So more excited about that game than I am about Marathon. But I think people were also being a little overly harsh on Marathon too. I think Marathon still looks interesting enough to me, but I don't think it's got the sauce, man. I don't know.
The problem is if Arc Raiders grabs you and then that's your extraction shooter because it jumped out in front. It's like, do I want to leave at that point, months and months of time I've put into this, several hundred hours. So I want to leave and go to Marathon, or do I want to stick with what I know? That's always the struggle for these live service games. It's just right now people really do have their almost forever games that they play with their friends, the social experience picked out, and they don't want to go somewhere. And then also, it's a $40 game. You have to then convince your group of friends to go buy this game for $40 on a whim. And it's just tough.
Well, what's tough though is like, it's weird because there's a novelty to it going against the grain of live service, and that everything is expected to be free to play.
Right.
Now, obviously, like Helldivers 2's gameplay loop is what really hooked people. But it was like, there was still that knock-on effect of like, man, and I love that you just buy the game and you get like, it feels very content complete. Like there's got to be a hook that SIE really values there of like, no, we want to sell this because yes, PS Plus, but also to prop the game up as like, you're done. You can enjoy this as is. But it's tough when the actual foundationally the game itself isn't interesting enough, which that's kind of the Marathon's problem right now.
The thing with extraction shooters, though, is I feel like most of them are expected to be at least semi-expensive. I mean, I know Escape from Tarkov, that's like a whole experience with spending money from what I've seen. So $40 in the extraction shooter realm is, I don't want to say cheap, but it's not the most expensive I've seen. I don't know how much Arc Raiders costs. Is that a $35 or $40 game?
I believe it's 40. It's a $40 game, yeah.
Yeah, it's 40 as well. So, but that's the thing. It's going to beat Marathon to market. And if it just has even if it's as interesting or as good, if people have already planted their flag with that game, then it's going to be tough to remove them from it.
It's worth pointing out that, this is still like a closed technical. This game was supposed to ship this year.
Yeah.
And now it's not. But if there's any hope for this game, this is the path you take, is do these closed technicals, keep getting feedback, and you shape it based off the community and make sure it's commercially viable. That's like the best chance it has, if anything.
But They're definitely trying to get this game out before GTA 6, right? Like that's definitely probably they're like we got to get this out before then, I imagine. And it's like,
The language from the CFO Lin Tao was very much, we're not committing to like we if we have to delay this game, we will. It's like they've already said like this fiscal year, sure, which would run to April 2026. But I mean, they didn't make any commitments as far as like it's for sure going to ship. I would think, if anything, delaying it again is a really big possibility.
Man, delay again.
If they believe in it, if they believe in it.
Yeah, man. But Bungie is they're going through it, man. They're going through it. Gosh, good purchase. Good purchase. Good stuff. It could be worse. It could be worse. We could be playing Last of Us Online right now.
You can play it right now. PS4. That one works. PS4 works
for now.
Last of Us Online. It works.
Dude, the other day I hooked up 2 PS3s and landed up and played Uncharted 3 co-op.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Uncharted 3 multiplayer, snipers only. And it was a blast, dude. It was an absolute. My buddy like flew in and brought. I had 2 PS3s, so I did have 2 copies of Uncharted 3 though. So I was like, "Well, bring a copy of Uncharted 3 and we can do this." And so we landed up and played some Uncharted 3, and that was a good time.
You know, Uncharted 2's multiplayer is back up. A private community restored it.
Really?
Yeah, it's working again.
Wait, how does that work? I just put the game in right now and I can play?
The way a lot of the private server communities work is like you change the DNS settings on your PlayStation 3. So that way when you're logging into PSN and you launch the game, it points to their server.
I was like, how is that game going to know to point to someone's private? So, like, if you're telling me I can just hop into that game and press like join game and I'm just going to find it online lobby, that sounds crazy. But I guess it is what you're saying, just with the DNS change.
Right. Like it principally will work the way it used to. You just have to change your internet settings on PS3. But like after you do that, it's like native, put the disc in and matchmake. Although the last time I tried Uncharted 2, they didn't have matchmaking working. Sometimes like it's very like the community has to reverse engineer these games to figure out what the server wants to hear. Sometimes they're very feature complete. Other times they have to roll it out. But this is a great segue to our next story because I do want to call this out. Mod Nation Racers is back online. So a dedicated community has restored the creation station with full online play and matchmaking. And this is another situation where it's DNS settings because sometimes depending on the game, you do need to like have at least a hen
custom
PS3
firmware.
Hen or custom because you need to like reinstall like the last build of the game. That's the case with PlayStation Home. That's the case with GTA 5. The majority of older PS3 games, it's pretty much like you can play off disc or digital and just point DNS settings. You can do that for Mod Nation Racers. They got that game back up, which is really cool.
That is cool. Did either of you play that game much? That is not one that I really put a lot of hours into or anything.
I didn't play a lot of Mod Nation Racers myself. No.
Yeah, same. I liked creating a lot, but that was an LVP. So
I mean, I do like to see these games getting revived because it's actually
that
awesome
part's cool. I just
come back and play it
for
on
me.
console.
I don't know. Mod Nation Racers was not one that like really connected with. Like I had the Vita game and I had the PS3 game, but I just did not connect with that game very well.
Yeah, it didn't really find its audience, I think, long term. But it's neat to have it back. Another cool preservation story is that the Ratchet and Clank mobile game was discovered. So for those that don't know,
what?
So for those that so for context, Ratchet and Clank Going Mobile came out in 2005, and that was a genuine.
I like the title.
Yeah. That was a genuine flip phone, like Java mobile game. It came out. It's real. That was 20 years ago. It got a sequel that was supposed to come out in 2006. That game got canceled. It never came out. So it was recently discovered by the Ratchet community. I guess somebody had like former developer had like a surviving copy and they were able to like decrypt it and dump it. And now it's online. So you can play the long lost 20-year-old Ratchet and Clank mobile game.
Got it.
Which it's basically like it's a side-scrolling Ratchet and Clank. It looks like if Ratchet were shipped on GBA. It's really cool.
Can you emulate it, or how are they doing that with the? Yeah,
you can. I mean, I would assume you could also just dump it right onto like a compatible phone. You could do that with any of the like the J2 ME games.
Mhm.
So it's neat to mess around with. I've launched it and played it for like 5 minutes. It works. Yeah, it's
You doing a
neat.
video on that?
I've been meaning to do a video on the 2 mobile games that Sony Online did, which was the first Ratchet game and God of War. I
Mhm.
just haven't gotten around to it, but I'll
You
do a
got the
video
phone?
on.
Got the flip phone?
Yeah, I've only got an emulator. I don't have an old phone to launch it on.
Oh, you gotta get the phone. What kind of phone do you
Yeah.
think is the play for this? I gotta look that up.
I would imagine you could get them working on a Xperia Play. Although
Oh
that would
yeah,
be
you
like,
think so?
well,
I'm picturing like the
I don't
gosh,
know
what are
why I
those?
was thinking the Razor flip phone is what I was
Oh,
thinking
that
in
was a
my
good one
head. Right, that's got to
too.
be around that era, right? Of
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yep. That would have been 05, 06 when the Razor was out. I remember that in high school. That phone.
dude, Razors were so cool, man. Gosh,
the Razor would be sick. I feel like that's probably the definitive way to play it because you can't even like if you put it on an Xperia Play, it's actually a bad way to play that game because it needs the 9 keys. Like you
Yeah.
need you actually need
Right.
a fucking old school phone to play it properly.
How much
But otherwise,
Razor
you
man.
could you could
The
just play
PlayStation games
the emulator.
you've never played, literally, actually.
Man,
Okay,
stop!
I found a Razor
stop,
phone.
stop spoiling the title of my video, dude. Am
I
I my
found a
son?
Razor phone. Are you okay with a Sprint one?
I don't remember, dude. I remember. I used to think that one phone. It was like
Oh, look at this thing.
It was called like the chocolate or some shit. I thought it was the
Oh,
coolest
I
thing
remember
ever.
that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember the one that like slid up, but when it was off, it tried to make it look like one piece kind of on the screen. I remember that.
Man,
weird how
where's
they-
phone innovation gone, man? You
I know, right?
Where's it gone? Giant screen.
Yeah. No, when you said Ratchet Mobile, what I thought you were talking about, because I remembered hearing a story, and I'm sure this is still happening at somewhere in Sony, was like they were trying to convert all their big IP into mobile games, and there was like some sort of Last of Us mobile game or something that was like rumored to be being developed. And so when you said Ratchet mobile game, I'm like, oh no, what are
Well,
we
to
doing?
be fair, there is another Ratchet mobile game that's semi more recent. But Sony's mobile push has been categorically awful. They've got a more recent, like formal division called PlayStation Studios Mobile. They appointed Nikolai Sebastiani
Mhm.
he was formerly Apple Arcade. He was the head of this division. He's gone. They acquired a studio, renamed it. They shut it down. So this company just cannot put out good mobile shit. They just can't figure it out. But like the rumor was, and I think what you're implying is like they were trying to go for maybe a Genshin Impact style game where it's like this very ubiquitous. You can play on the phone, you can play on PS4 or 5. You know what I mean? They just can't get anything off the ground though.
I found a Razor V3. It has Tetris and Pac-Man on it.
Wow.
That's what it says.
Like you can't just install your own shit on it.
No, I assume you can. Like these are probably. I'm sure there's ways to hack them or do all kinds of stuff. Move the games over. Yeah, I bet you there is.
All right. I include. Why is my thing not scrolling? All right, now I got to reopen this. What the deuce? Why is my notepad not scrolling? All right, hold on.
Are you on a Mac?
Technical difficulties. Yeah, unfortunately. There we go.
Unfortunately.
Well, okay, now I got it back up. John, I'm sure you saw this. Nana, you might have seen this too because it was just a funny headline. Michael Pachter says Sony's a terrible company. You see this?
I did see this. Yeah, this is funny.
He was speaking with Yahoo Finance about the EA going private deal, which we'll talk about that in a second. The Wedbush Securities, Michael Pachter, the guy that's famous for saying crazy, outlandish shit. So he said, because they were talking about the deal, right? He said Sony is a terrible company and they're blowing it in the games business. Now, I want to give context on this quote because that's the problem with the internet is that we read headlines and then we don't pay attention to what was actually said. So the context of his answer was the guy is bullish on TV, like games going directly to the TV. So he thinks about things like iOS on the TV, free to play games on the TV. He's big on cloud AI. He's thinking, 10 plus years, basically. That's why he made that comment. Now it's up to you to still agree with him or not, but it's a funny headline when you see that. This was also during the same week where Sony had said like PlayStation 5 is the most profitable generation ever, that's not even news because they say that every year during their business segment briefings. This generation is their most successful by a decent margin. And then you have this analyst here that said PS3 was going to be the last generation, and he thinks it's a terrible company. This is funny.
He's been saying that for a long time, though. I remember Pachter back in like this would have been early 2000s. I remember him even. I think he had an interview with G4 TV way back when. That's the first time I remember seeing him. So we've been. I've seen this guy for a long time, back and forth. Well, he doesn't know it's a back and forth. But you get what I'm saying. He's been saying this stuff for a long time though. You're right, Ryan. He's I think the PS3 360 was going to be the last generation we saw for consoles. The PS4 and the Xbox One was the last generation, and so, to my understanding, as you said, Ryan, the reason he says that Sony is a terrible company is Michael Pachter seems to believe that everyone is going to a TV specific approach, as in you launch your application from the TV and then you stream to it.
Something like that.
Yeah,
that's
no
my
box,
understanding.
Right? No box on the TV.
That's the belief that he has, and he doesn't seem to like that Sony, because I've seen him again interviews for a while. He doesn't seem to like that Sony is still very console first. He thinks they should move away from being console first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the context. The context is he's bullish on things like that, and Sony is a very console first still company. That's it. I wanted to give context on that headline. Honestly, he's
been like this for a while though.
He has. But that's the thing, is that he's not doing himself any favors saying things for the last 10 years and still hasn't really panned out.
Yeah, nothing's came to fruition here. Everything.
Actually, more like 15 years, probably maybe up to 20 now at this point. Nuts.
The streaming thing, how long have we been talking about streaming overtaking consoles?
A long time, like 10 years it feels like.
Right. Okay. Because we've seen even like Sony buy up when they bought Gaikai, and everybody's trying to make this. I remember On Live. When was that? 2007? Was that 12 years ago? Something like it. Maybe longer than that even.
2007 was.
Well, I'm trying to think of when they brought it, when they announced it, when they brought it to market, and when it went away. It was in the span of like 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. It's been like 20 something years that I think people have been talking about this.
What was the little box? The little Android box that streamed everything.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was actually built on real hardware. They had like a Tegra 3 in there, and it was like an indie machine. You might be thinking On Live had a little box too.
Oh, On Live, yeah.
On Live had a little box, and that was all streaming. I actually have one downstairs in the box. I actually have, for some reason. I don't know why I haven't, but I do, and I have the controller for it too. And there's nothing really. Like, it's not really doing a lot other than just streaming the image in, but they had some really cool ideas back then, and it just could not catch on because it's like the Stadia effect where you still don't feel like you're buying anything, and they couldn't figure out.
Stadia was so good though.
Stadia was better than people realize, and I say Stadia was good. Not a lot of people tried it.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of videos on that.
I do too. I do too.
And people seem more interested than I was expecting in it, which is hilarious. But I think part of it was like, let me see this train wreck before it disappears off the internet. So that the stream, I feel like if they could figure it out, I mean, if the stars align, it works. But the idea is they're chasing the Netflix or Amazon Prime, the model of spur of the moment. It's there. You hit a button and it works. The problem is you hit a button and then it says connect your controller, and most people don't have, like, if you're not into gaming, you don't necessarily have a compatible controller laying around. Now it's the thing of, oh, what do I order? Where do I go to get the controller? And then, see, we take this for granted. I don't know if you guys have handed somebody who's not as familiar with a controller and be like, play this level. They do the thing where they look at the controller a lot while they're playing, and the thumb dexterity isn't correct. They're not moving the thumbsticks right. They don't know that one's a camera that moves around. It's a whole thing. At that point, I'm already annoyed and bored, and I'm going to go watch, I don't know, The Boys season 3 or something instead on Netflix. Wherever, Amazon Prime. But these are like hurdles that I just don't feel like are brought up with these with these futures that like the analysts are thinking of. They just understand, oh, there's not a $600 box in the way, so they should go this route. When there's decades of market research, like Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. Well, Microsoft's, I mean, they might be confused for all I know right now, but like Sony and Nintendo, they have so much experience in this field. I feel like they understand that the streaming isn't there yet, and they still have barriers to overcome.
They're
Johnny
also
C.
in hardware
Maybe we plug
business
the
too,
cable
right?
into our head someday, and our thoughts control the game, and then you don't need the controller. But
It's a qualitative it's a quantitative analysis of everyone thinking like, oh, there's like 2 billion people we could reach.
gosh,
But like,
that phrase
like,
really did some damage.
but that you hit the nail on the head, which is the actual people that can use controllers and want to play these games, they don't want to stream their games. So your addressable market is much smaller, and the qualitative analysis here is people don't want to play games that way. The quantitative analysis is look at all these possible customers, nobody wants to play games that way.
Now, real talk, the Gen V, I think episode 6 came out. I gotta watch that. That's what I was thinking. The boys, I'm like, oh yeah, they're getting down to the wire in Gen V. You're right though. Some people just want to come home and just watch stream. They just want to kind of like be a vegetable on the couch for a few hours before they go to bed. They don't want to be like trying to figure out quarter circle forward punch and some fighting game through streaming that's always 20 milliseconds behind them.
All right, let's move on to this.
Also, have you played a racing game through cloud streaming yet?
Well, that's a goddamn disaster. So no.
Right? Gosh, no, don't do that.
I've played Forza
gross.
Horizon 5. It's not exactly ideal.
I feel like it's always behind. Like I move left, and it's like, okay, now go. I'm always behind.
For a game that's meant to feel very fast, it doesn't work that well.
So I'm not trusting my game access with Comcast ability. It's not happening.
Let's touch on this EA going private deal for $55 billion. It's a new deal with the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners. This is now the second biggest deal in the games industry. Now, for context, the Saudi Arabia PIF already had 10% in EA going into the deal. And as we all know, they've been slowly accumulating more ownership in video game companies. But this is a leveraged buyout. So there's $20 billion that's being financed through debt. And the loan itself is being labeled as high risk, very speculative, because EA is frankly an established publisher with very little growth prospects. So this is a pull in another direction of trying to find growth through consolidation. And bear in mind the big concern with this deal obviously is not even so much, definitely the ethics part of it, but it's a matter of 15,000 employees, studios like BioWare, Maxis, DICE, Respawn, Criterion. There's concerns that there's going to be layoffs, studios will be shut down, IP will be sold off. And there's a internal FAQ given to EA employees saying nothing's going to happen. But we all know what kind of a deal of this magnitude, assuming it goes through, we all know what ends up happening when they have some very big debt that they have to address.
I don't think this looks good for EA. I think there's some stuff behind the scenes for this one because the leveraged buyout sounded crazy when they said it's probably about $20 billion that's getting thrown on the balance sheet. Dude, the interest rates right now in that, EA is a very profitable company. They are, but I don't know if they're profitable enough for this, which tells me that they're going to get aggressive with monetization practices like microtransaction, which it's already kind of like
I was about to say as if they are.
Yeah. I think it'll get worse kind of with that. Or this is the case of we'll sell off IPs, the company will collapse, and then it gets all written off.
And sell Need for Speed to somebody that will make me a new Need for Speed game.
Yeah, the other concern I have, you're bringing up Need for Speed, is because of that large debt and the interest, we get not as much risk can be taken. It has to be like surefire things that can then be, it can be like
underground
Skate.
And underground too.
Now.
Underground and underground too, man. Surefire bets. Let's go.
You feel like that would do it, right? Like a remake.
I know, man. I know. Just give me a proper underground.
Together. Yeah, you could even call it Need for Speed Underground and just bring them all together into one.
Yes.
Like kind of like how we got like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 together, but they just do Need for Speed Underground and that's it. So
I don't tried Skate. I've not got to try Skate yet, but I've not heard good things.
The gameplay is good. The aesthetic is, I think it's for a younger audience than, I'm just old, maybe. I think that's what it is. The gameplay is good because it's just skate and it's a big open area. Like, so you can just skate around. There's 100 people in a room at any given time. If you have some friends, they can jump in and you guys can actually just skate around and you can do co-op missions together. So I recommend it because it's free. It's like try it out and see what you think. But it's kind of Fortnite-y, I guess. I don't know. They're using lingo that they probably look at me like I'm using the Razer phone. So
6'7".
My kids say that all the time, and I think they do it on purpose. I have no idea what they're saying to me.
6'7". I don't know. Wait.
Yeah, obviously
6'7".
6.
Obviously.
They say 6'7". They say all kinds of things. They say 6'7". They say drippy. There's a lot of lingo gets thrown around.
They say drippy.
They say drippy. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, this deal's weird. It's what's weird too is that typically if a big company's going private, I mean, depending on the nature of the deal, that's almost good news because public companies are so motivated to deliver returns to shareholders. So that's part of the reason why Steam is always so consumer friendly and customer oriented first, because they're private. They're not beholden to shareholders. So you think about EA, a company known for very predatory practices going private, that almost sounds like there's some upside here, but then you realize the nature of the deal, who the buyers are, and it all goes south very, very fast. I would be shocked if we did not see layoffs happen within at least 6 months of this deal closing.
I assume layoffs are happening like right away.
Yeah, almost. It'll be ugly.
Yeah, sucks. The thing of going private is they can plan more long term, and then on their quarterly reports, 4 times a year or something, and be like, what last second decisions can we make that sometimes might be layoffs to make these numbers look better? But we're going to be kind of in the dark for a while because of that.
Indeed.
It's going through too. It's not getting blocked now. It's going through. People.
Yeah.
I was going to say that this seems pretty surefire to me, doesn't it? I mean, it seems like it's pretty much happening.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's too much money getting thrown around. There's people, I believe, who are like more in line with the current administration that will help push it through. So I think this is going in. So
going to be a new era of EA.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it might not be long enough for there to be an error. I don't know.
Ugh. All right, we've got a lot here to go over for the.
Those Platinum's kicking back. What's going on over there? All right.
You could have just walked past that. You got to mention it. Come on now, put me on blast like that. There's a lot of stuff going on the Xbox side of things. I feel like we would be remiss to not mention just the absurd amount of things going on here and how that may or may not relate.
Publisher.
Yeah, may or may not relate to the PlayStation business. We're just going to spitfire through a lot of this shit because there's just way too much, and this is not an Xbox show. So Xbox Game Pass pricing, that's going up. Essential is $10 a month. Premium is $15. Game Pass Ultimate's $30 a month now. That's the one with the day one games, Ubisoft Plus and EA Play with Fortnite Crew. Now, that was obviously one big controversy, but then we get into the other massive Xbox issues going on where Sneakers SO on NeoGAF, that was the one that originally in late 2023 called out the whole Microsoft going multi-platform thing, and they were correct. Tom Warren even corroborated that this individual definitely knows what's going on internally within Xbox. So they made this long post. I'm just going to summarize it. They said there's more Xbox layoffs early next year. More retailers are dropping Series S and X. More price increases are coming. Xbox is going to continue on software publishing. And next-gen hardware for 2026 is up in the air, which that prompted Microsoft to send in a statement to Windows Central saying we're still actively involved in making hardware. All this aside, we then got a report from Bloomberg that Microsoft lost $300 million in sales by putting Call of Duty on Game Pass last year, and that expense was allegedly calculated from the lost sales on Xbox and PC in particular, since those platforms is where Game Pass is available. And also, just to throw salt to the wound there, we had the former FTC chairman, Lena Khan, write on Twitter that the Activision Blizzard acquisition it led to exactly what she was trying to stop, which is price hikes and layoffs. So just all around, a lot of bad press going on for Xbox. They can't seem to catch a break. There's no reprieve. I would assume very safely we are definitely still getting new Xbox hardware, but it's just there's been a conversation topic that sparked here as far as how PlayStation has been handling a lot of these things, not even so much PS Plus, but definitely the console landscape. Would they go unchecked? At this point with Microsoft shipping a very expensive box or perhaps no box at all in 5-10 years. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about all this, John?
I'm going to go over to Nano, actually. Nano, You watching this Xbox train go off the rails recently? How you feeling about Xbox right now?
Yeah, man. I've been a Game Pass subscriber since like day one. And I just got charged for it, and it was still only $20. So is the $30 thing only for new members?
It's going to go into effect in November, to my understanding.
Oh, okay. Anywho, this is the first time that I've ever been like, okay, so why am I going to keep this for $30 a month? Because at that point, it's $360 a year, which is a funny Xbox 360 joke in there somewhere. But at that point, you know, a lot of the argument for Xbox Game Pass for this whole time is like, what is the phrase? It's the best deal in gaming or something like that. And at $360 a year, is it anymore? Because that's 6 full price games that I know I can play when I want to boot them up. Whereas on that, it's real constant rotating. Like the other day, we went to go try to play something that me and my kid had been playing, and I'd been taken off, so we couldn't play it anymore. And I was like, it wasn't on sale, and I was like, man, I don't feel like paying $49.99 right now for that game, pal. I think we're not probably playing this one today, but anywho, but all that to say, the $30 I think is finally gonna like get me to stop with
I hear so many people saying that right now.
Yeah, because like it's a huge jump. First off, a $10 jump is crazy in and of itself. I was already kind of like, do I keep this at $20? But I have used it enough, and we're going into Call of Duty land, right? And so I think for Call of Duty, I will keep it for the time being, just so I can play Call of Duty. But then I'm also like, do I just cancel it and just buy Call of Duty outright on my PlayStation anyway? Because that's where I would rather play it to begin with. So
right,
So for me, like the Game Pass stuff specifically actually does affect me and makes me a bit sad. Which I don't really use it a ton on my Xbox. My kid plays on my Series S because I bought the X screen. Have you guys seen what I'm talking about? Where it like actually looks like it like literally looks like it's an official product. Which I think Xbox ended up bringing them in and letting them put the like Xbox thing on it. But he plays games on that. He plays Forza Horizon 5 on that. I let him play Lego Fortnite and just, you know, other little random Game Pass games. But I'm like, is that really still, again, that's not worth the jump up there. But outside of him playing the Series S, I mostly play most of the stuff on PC. And it's just kind of like, it's actually going to outprice me from using their service anymore, which sucks because it is a cool service, but yeah, I'd rather just buy the few games I actually care from them. Like, you know, like next year, what are we getting? Gears, hinted, rumored Halo, and then now Forza Horizon 6. I can just buy those 3 games for, I guess, $70 a piece, and that's still $210.
Let's be real. Yeah, other than Horizon, I mean, there's a chance that E-Day could be on PlayStation Day 1.
This is also true, and that's where I would personally rather play it. Like my Series X right now is not even hooked up at the moment, because just don't really play games over there. So yeah,
it's an awkward spot for Microsoft right now because they have their system that, like, the Series X with the disk drive is $650 now, and then they have a service that's $30 a month for Ultimate, and that you still pay for online. And if people started to realize now, because all these tiers are coming back up into conversation, the tier at the bottom for Game Pass, with the essential one, if you line it up with PlayStation's essential tier, Microsoft's is $120 a year and Sony's is $80 a year. So even on that side, and you need it for online play, it's like, man, it's $40 more there too.
And so they got rid of the day one stuff too, right? Like you can't be on essential and you don't get to play like the whole thing. Whenever you watch one of their presentations, is that day one on Xbox. Well, now it's day one on Xbox if you're at a certain or Game Pass, if you're at a certain tier now, right? It's like they've increased the entry on that. The thing too, this is kind of related, kind of not, but I don't know if you guys are COD heads at all. But have you seen all the changes they're making to Call of Duty that's presumably done because of Battlefield? And you mentioned, Ryan, you mentioned the sort of like competitive nature. Like, could this affect PlayStation not having like someone that's there, you know? And we're seeing that literally with COD and Battlefield, because Battlefield 6 is likely making Call of Duty do changes that the fan base has been asking for 10 plus years. And this is likely only happening because Battlefield 6 is finally a true competitor, potential competitor to Call of Duty. So it does kind of suck. But man, the Xbox sales, they're pretty they're pretty rough, right? Like game sales on that entire console, because they've trained their console base to sort of like, I guess, feed into this Game Pass thing, and I don't guess they really have a player base that likes to buy games. They just really play games on their Game Pass, which is also goes to what you were just saying as well. Why are we increasing the price of the console when we're trying to sell them a service? Why not decrease the price of the console to get them into our ecosystem to then sell them the service that we've now increased? What is that, like 50%, right?
Yep.
Like, it's weird. It's also strange. It doesn't make much sense. I don't know.
It's like they don't. It seems like they just don't want to sell the Xbox that much anymore. So I don't really know what to make of it unless they have their new system next year. It's gonna be a weird couple of years for them if they really go to like 2027 for next gen. I don't know what they're doing right now. It's very weird.
Yeah, the weird thing about the hardware side is like it takes like 4-something years to build an SoC and ship it. They announced the AMD collaboration. Like, presumably we're still getting hardware, but again, the pitch is that software layer, a more premium priced box that maybe that's actually 2027 now, if anything.
Did you see that Moore's Law is Dead video where he kind of went over some of the stuff from his AMD source that I probably similar in sourcing for the PlayStation stuff that seems so far to be legit.
Right.
It seems like Microsoft is not building a cheap machine right now. Like
No.
I'm thinking that thing might actually touch 1,000, maybe 900 if they try to subsidize.
Yeah, it seems like they're just going to lean very much into where like a super low volume but premium priced box, and we're just a third party publisher. Like our bottom line is we've got very big IP under our belt, and we don't care where we sell it. It's got to be that.
I mean that, and maybe they're thinking, hey, we have the cloud streaming. That's a service.
Dude, their cloud streaming, unless it has gotten better, is like the worst one.
They upgraded to 1440p. I have not tried it out yet. But
I haven't tried it out yet.
It's not on the level of GeForce Now. GeForce Now is
well, GeForce Now is like crazy. I don't think anybody's beating that, man. That service is super impressive. Like, I'm always impressed when I load something up now on GeForce Now.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing to me is that Microsoft's like cloud streaming for games has been behind everyone for so long. It's very weird.
I was gonna say, Nano, have you tried PS Plus Premium's PS5 streaming?
I've tried. I've done it on my portal. 4K. I've not tried it on my PlayStation 5, but have you tried? I assume you've tried the portal streaming.
Yeah, well, the portal streaming is good, but like if we're talking like image quality, like if you stream a PS5 game on PS5, which conceivably it's like, why the hell would you do that? But the early offering of that, like you can stream in 4K, and it's kind of insane how good it looks. And Sony historically was never like a leader in that space. Microsoft's a big AI and cloud company, but PlayStation was able to deploy server blades that are actually pretty damn good.
I'll have to give that a go. Yeah, I tried it out as soon as the portal streaming became a thing. I was like, okay, I got to see like how good is this, and I was pretty impressed. I was actually pretty impressed with just because that portal is so like the internals of that are just so bare. Minimum.
It's just a screen, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious how it was going to run because I was actually on a huge streaming phase for a bit. I bought one of those Logitech G Clouds.
Yep.
And I was playing on one of those for like a good minute, and that's why I was always upset by Xbox's streaming because I wanted to play some Halo, and I swear on everything, dude, like the latency was so bad, and then I was like, am I losing my mind? And so I would pull up GeForce Now, and I was like, no, it's just this Xbox. The Xbox streaming sucks. So that's why I've been meaning to try it out now with this 1440p to see if it's any better.
I do want to say too that Xbox Game Pass Premium, that mid tier, that's 200 plus games in the catalog, and they promise that first party games comes to that within a year. Just in case we missed that.
Wait.
Except,
well, go ahead, John.
It does not include Call of Duty for that 1 year stipulation, as in they might not put Call of Duty in there ever. Possibly.
Oh, I was thinking the $20 tier got the day. So wait. Only the $30 tier gets day one?
Yes, just $30 tier. Yep. The
I thought it cut off. I thought the $10 tier was like, okay, guys, here's your $10 tier, but the $20 tier still got the day one of the games. That's only the $30 tier.
Yep.
Well, Well, now it's 15. There's no 20, so it's cheaper.
Oh,
It's cheaper, and they're promising almost every first party game will come to it within a year. That's the asterisk on that.
Yep.
Just so we're talking about this in a very fair manner. There is that one middle tier that's technically now cheaper than what premium used to be.
Got it. Okay.
But either obviously their shtick was the whole day of one thing, and at $30 a month, I mean it's crazy. I do want to add actually what we had a timely report.
There's the tiers right there.
Yeah,
Essential, Premium, Ultimate. So it's 10, 15, 30, and they have the middle one is the one Ryan was mentioning with the new Xbox published games within a year of launch. There's little asterisks right there, and that means that there's no this doesn't include Call of Duty. So you get a game that goes in 10 months after it comes out and is in Ultimate day one. But if Call of Duty is that game, that might not be the case. They might hold that for could be years. I mean, that's the thing with Game Pass. The thing that's really confused a lot of us is a lot of Activision Blizzard stuff they haven't put in there, even though they own Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, the Call of Duty games are still not in there, right? Like even like on the premium,
like one or two, maybe. Yeah, I mean, they
but
made a big deal about it. It's like
this
this game's 6 years old. What are we throwing confetti for here? What is this?
So to Nano's point about how you could just like buy some premium games and come in under on a yearly basis. Mm-hmm. We had a report from Matt Piscatella of Circana, which tracks video game sales data in the US. And this was a pretty big headline because the chart showed the buying habits of consumers in the US. And about 33% of players, a third of people, don't even buy a game per year on average. And then 12% is once a year, 18% is 2 per year, and 4% are players that buy games like once a month, more than once a month. Now you think about Game Pass and the model is like, look at all this shit you get. Well, I mean, you can see how the funnel doesn't really work here. Like the vast majority of players, casual players, semi-casual, whatever you want to label these people, they don't see any value and they couldn't see any value in Game Pass. You just can't.
I would be curious because he's talking about like new games, as in I assume he's referring to a full priced I'll say $60 or $70 game is what I assume, a premium price game. I would be really curious to see what the average spend is, as in X amount of percent spends $60 or less or $70 or less per year on new games or microtransactions. Because I feel like people who maybe don't buy that one premium game are putting a bunch of money into like skins and stuff in Fortnite.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. The money goes somewhere. Well, the money and also the screen time. But like that, even excusing the money spent, you consider that 33% are on paper not buying more than what I mean. Like a la carte sales, there's like the vast majority of people aren't really engaging with that.
So we agree that Fortnite is like the big problem with gaming right now.
Well, a bunch of black hole games.
I have wondered occasionally what gaming would look like right now if we just never discovered the live service stuff. If that was never a thing and we just never came across that. I sometimes I wonder what that would, because we've seen the stats. We've gone over it. Sony's more than half of their revenue is from live service stuff flowing through PlayStation Network. It's like, man, what would it be like right now if it wasn't for the Fortnites, Apexes, the COD Warzone, Genshin, whatever else?
We'd still get packed in multiplayer experiences, and it'd be great.
Hey, see? Do you see this, Ryan? See, that's what I'm saying. We need to pack in multiplayer, okay? Because I bring it up, and you're like, this guy's he's just old. What's he doing here?
Well, we both agree. Like, that'd be great, but that's not what the publishers are chasing.
I need some weird multiplayer like from Stranglehold for no reason that gets shut down 10 years later. I need something like that.
Yote, Legends 2.0.
I know that's what I mean. Something like that's cool. Pack in multiplayer.
All right, one last rhetorical question here, because this is the big speculation with this, like all this bad Xbox news, and definitely that headline that the Xbox hardware is up in the air. Again, it's obviously probably still happening, but in a world where PlayStation's uncontested in the high end console space, I mean, what do we think is going to happen there? Right? Like, what is this? Do we obviously you don't want Sony to be completely unchecked. The point I always add, and John, I make this point a lot, is that they still have, and I made the point earlier, it's like no matter what is happening, they always have a due diligence here to make sure that they're still selling an affordable box that's like engaging and has like compelling video games. Doesn't matter if there's Xbox or not. They're fighting against screen time from TikTok, Instagram, Netflix. Doesn't matter where you're spending your time. If it's not on PlayStation, that's a problem to them. So it's tough to say, but they still always have this responsibility to make a good product.
The real problem is, the real concern is there is a little margin of error then for the console space, because there's one left. There's Sony. Like, Nintendo has their hybrid system, sure, but it's like Sony be the only one that makes a dedicated box, dedicated console. If they slip up, they pull a PS3 or something and things get rough. I mean, the last line of defense for Pactor being right. Okay. So Sony needs to stick it out. I can't have that. No, that's the problem. I know you're referring to the idea of prices just being sky high and they doing whatever they want, but man, if it's not we see the average age of gamers going up every couple years when we get the report. Getting younger audiences in with even Sony's products are getting harder and harder because TikTok and YouTube and even Fortnite. Yeah. But getting an audience that will buy games apparently that are just premium prices is going to be a hurdle to cross in the future as well. So you're right. They still have to be somewhat aggressive, but I do get a little concerned. You get somewhat lackadaisical, and you know what you start doing or stop doing? Any kind of communication to your fan base. And I mean, we don't really hear from Sony much. It was shocking to see Mark Cerny in AMD today. It was like, what in the world? Who are you? What is this? That's the thing. That's the one thing that you do notice right now, is that they don't really talk to their audience much at all. Whereas I feel like with the PS4, when they were trying to make that comeback after the PS3 and they got that worked out, it felt like there was more like gamer facing, audience facing stuff at that time.
Mm-hmm. Anna, what do you think?
I mean, I think Steam and just the growing PC community, I mean, still like that probably would keep them at least slightly in check. No, like to some extent, probably. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I would man, say this on like a PlayStation centric podcast, but I mean, it's kind of, isn't it? I mean, did they even view them as competition anymore? Like, is it even like, I don't think it's even
it kind of seems like let me ask you this. Do you think Sony would allow Game Pass, a curated selection of games, Game Pass from Microsoft, on PlayStation if they didn't have a console anymore? Like, if Microsoft did not have an Xbox, they didn't produce it, they were basically Ubisoft or an EA, because there's Ubisoft. Ubisoft has their subscription service. Yeah. EA has their. But would Sony allow Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation if there wasn't an Xbox console in the stores?
Probably. Why? Like, at that point, yeah, because at that point, Xbox is just a publishing company, which is kind of what they already are anyway, except they do have a box still, kind of. Mm-hmm. Or not kind of, so, I mean, they do still have a box, but it's just, yeah, I mean, that's probably, I mean, that seems like, so why would they say no to more money, right?
Yeah, that's the hang up for me, and the reason I still think they do view them as somewhat competition, because that's like the one thing that's standing in the way, I think, of them putting Game Pass on PlayStation, or at least allow them to have their service. It's because that Xbox is out there, and they're still kind of in the console market, and they, I think they still see them as competition, but it's not like stark competition. You're right. I mean, they don't have to do anything. Microsoft has no problem, it feels like, just sabotaging stuff on their own. People are trying to figure out if they're like purposely sabotaging Xbox. And when that question comes up, man, it's bad.
They keep doing this though, but they still are making tons of money, right? Like, all these games are still doing really well and selling really well on PlayStation. Like,
oh yeah, yep.
Just because they own all these companies now and all these games and stuff like that. Like, I mean, Forza Horizon 5 sold really well on PlayStation, right? Coming out like 4.5 years later. I don't know.
See, I like your point about Steam, and to John's point about a younger generation. I think they're very concerned about a new cycle of kids coming in that either one or two of these things are happening. They're either spending time on entertainment apps, or they're getting into gaming, but they're getting a PC. Yes, dude, it doesn't matter.
It's crazy. It's crazy how many like was talking to a couple of my friends, and their kids just want PCs. They don't want consoles. Like they want a full PC setup. Like one of them was showing me a build they were trying to order with custom liquid cooling, and I'm like, why? I'm like, you don't need all that.
So
But that's what they wanted.
I think there's upside to PlayStation selling to an audience. It's like, hey, this thing is relatively affordable. It's all done for you. And guess what? There's no compromise too, because there's crossplay with all these games. We're doing Discord integration. Like, I just think they always have a responsibility to make sure the product's compelling, regardless of if their closest competitor for the last 20 years is there or not. That's the way I see it.
This is a little bit not really off the rails, kind of. Do you think we ever see a PlayStation with ultra wide support or differentiating like aspect ratios?
You know, I never thought they'd do 1440p, and here we are.
Same, and that's crazy. Yeah. I was impressed they did that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got a buddy that the same guy I was talking about earlier with the 20 gig PS3. He was a console ride or die, but he picked up an ultra wide, and it's changed everything for him. He just wants to play everything on his ultra wide, and he stopped playing his consoles because he just wants to play his ultra wide games.
I still think that PC launcher is something Sony should really be looking at then, if that's the case. Because if you have a PC launcher that ties your purchases, you have cross buy between your PC and your PlayStation then through that specific launcher, your trophies tie into it, any kind of rewards programs you have. I'm surprised they just haven't done that yet. Maybe that's something they tie in for next generation's launch. It just seems so obvious, and I guess they want to rely on Steam, but it's like, how long do you rely on Steam until you have to rely on Steam then?
You know, it might be interesting to see like an ultra wide thing that's like barred behind a PS6 Pro. Because it's the frame budget is crazy high on ultra wide. So
do you think if so that rumor's been going around about Valve making basically their own console and releasing it? And based on some of the leaks, it kind of seems like that's going to happen. Like they're going to do a VR headset as well, but kind of sounds like they're going to have a PS5 level Steam box. Basically, they're going to release, and it's going to have the same kind of OS as Steam OS, and all your stuff comes over, which would include PlayStation games. You think that Sony would be like, huh? That's interesting. What's going on over there? You think they'd like at least kind of notice a little bit, be like, what's that over there? What's this?
I'm sure everything other companies do. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there it is. There's the
Steam
guy.
Machine and the what?
Yes, sir, Alien Alpha.
Man, I
got 2 of those.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
And you got a little bit of everything over there, huh?
I'm just kidding. One doesn't work, and I had fixed it. But it ended up being the cheaper model. So there was like an i3 one, and it was kind of like a sight unseen sold, like the person did on eBay, and it was like $40. It's like, yeah, I'll take that. It was a short on the board. Okay, cool. But it was an i3 when it booted up. It's like, well, okay. I kind of wanted the i7 one, so I found an i7. I haven't done anything with it yet.
I don't have the controller, by the way. This is what Ben asking in chat. I don't unfortunately have the controller. I just have the PC.
I don't have the controller either.
Neither of you have that like the 2 pancake controller, like
no.
I don't think so. I think Evan has one.
That's also a good point in chat. Is people really do hate installing other clients. So
yeah, that's true.
I would personally install it if you're telling me like when Yote does its PC launch, and I could just play my save on my computer with all the like PC enhancements. That would be so cool. I don't have to give Steam, which I mean that's probably why they don't do it, because they want me to give Steam another $60-$70 to do it. But I'm not going to do that. One of my buddies texted me, "Have you played Tsushima on PC?" I'm like, no, because I don't want to. I played that game and it looked beautiful on my PS5, so I don't need to play it again on a PC. I'm good. Like, I'm chill. So
yeah, the launcher thing is still really weird, because it's like the launcher's free, but I get the idea of when you turn your PC on, Steam pops up, Epic Game Store pops up, GOG pops up, and then here comes the PlayStation Store. I get all that.
Yeah, it's too much.
If you make your platform compelling enough, and you do tie it in to your PlayStation account, and if you have a PlayStation account that's like 10 years old,
trophies
might be a little more interesting to you than Epic Game Store just launched and it doesn't have a shopping cart. You're like, well, why would I install that? Free games. Okay, fine.
There's a part of me thinking they're not doing the launcher.
I know, but it feels like such a short-sighted thing.
You would think, but also maybe not, because I mean they're not. dumb over there. I mean, they got to be thinking like nobody wants this shit.
I guess
We're not going to make this. This audience is so picky. We ship this. Who's going to what? 5 fucking people are going to download.
The idea would be you have a launcher, ideally that goes technically works on the PlayStation out of the box, but it goes between your console, your PC, and your phone because they're all about this mobile space thing they haven't really done much with. But if you have a launcher that goes across all 3 and your trophy, like you could earn trophies in some God of War mobile game, the platinum trophy there that shows up on your account on your PC and your PlayStation. Ryan's going to play that for 30 days of platinum someday.
Well, let's not just put words in my mouth or actions in my mouth. Even if they're somewhat accurate. Yeah. The point is, after the whole PSN debacle with like Helldivers 2,
that's what I was about to bring up.
John, I wouldn't be surprised if like the meeting the next day is like shut down that team doing the launcher because these people don't want this shit. Sometimes it's just it makes more sense to not do things that you think naturally should be the next step, even though everybody in the room is like thinking this out loud. It's like that audience doesn't want it. That's part of why the PlayStation Studio games on PC, like I always say, the crossover is not there the way people are thinking. Like a PC audience doesn't want a console. They don't. That's why they're shipping games over there. Because if you're not going to come to us, here you go. Here's Tsushima. Now give us the money.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both, man.
I'd say you're a very small minority. Man. They're like console players are console players, PC players are PC players.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll get off the soapbox now. We got a few other small stories to wrap up here.
Okay, go through them.
Yeah, I got a rumor about the Halo Combat Evolved remake. So this rumor comes from the Halo content creator Rebs Gaming, but a source has informed them that the studio that there's an extra studio helping Halo Studios with this remake. They say it's not Certain Affinity, but in a separate report they mention it's Abstraction, which is a Virtuo studio. So the things that we know, Sprint is in the current build of the game. Level redesigns are on the way to make some areas of the game less repetitive. The engine is a mix of UE5 and Blam, and a separate multiplayer project is in the works, potentially live service. Big shocker there. And there's a Halo deep dive panel set for the Halo World Championship in a few weeks. So potentially we'll see it announced there. But we've gone over this many times. This is like the last big. I mean, this is the big Band-Aid pull. So we think it's happening probably.
Well, I think there's what they're going to do, I think, is have their big anniversary next year, and that's when they'll launch it. So if you look at when the Xbox launched in the US in 2001, that was November 15th. I almost wonder if they're just going to release it that same day, like November 15th. What day is that in 2026? No, it's a Sunday. Never mind. So maybe before that, maybe like that Friday or something. I think that's kind of what they're going to do there. But I almost wonder if that deep dive is so there's a remake. There's also a separate multiplayer project that is kind of out there right now that's been discussed. There's something else. So I think that campaign or the remake for Halo 1 isn't going to have multiplayer because I think there's another multiplayer thing that's happening. And I think they'll show both. I'm hoping they show both because if you show the Halo 1 or Halo Combat Evolved remake and go, there's no multiplayer and you sign off without anything new multiplayer for Halo, feels like a mistake. So I think they're going to talk about this other side project. There's a bunch of projects Halo Studios apparently right now. And one is the next big Halo game that's in the works. The other is a side multiplayer project that's, I don't want to say it's Battle Royale, but it's kind of in that vein from what I understand. And then the other one is the Halo Combat Evolved remake. So I think we see 2 of those 3.
Okay.
In a couple weeks. That's on the Halo World Championship start on the 24th. So a couple weeks we'll see these things.
John, you're a Halo guy though. How do we feel about Sprint in the first game?
In the first game, the thing with Halo 1 is you do feel kind of like you're supposed to feel like a tank, obviously, but Sprint was controversial when we got it in Halo Reach. That was a whole thing, but it was a power up. You had to choose between that or like a few other things. Halo
4, right? Is when it made it like standardized.
Yeah, and Halo 5 was really where people lost it because that started to feel much more like a Call of Duty game. and that was the whole thing too. Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal. Big things back then, right? Big deal. That's when people cared about Halo. But the it's tough being a Halo fan nowadays. But the Halo 3 is still the go-to, but Halo Infinite has sprint and it's fine. I haven't really had any issues with it. So I think it's gonna be more of a continuation of that. And in fact, Halo Infinite now is actually pretty good. It's just no one plays it or goes back to it because the first impression was so bad. That is a complete multiplayer game now. And people seem to think, I can't remember some other game. People are like, oh, this other game came up with the idea of switching battle pass. No, Halo Infinite, the whole thing was you get the battle pass if you want. If not, it'll be there later. You can switch back to it. They always have them available.
Helldivers 2, right? I think Helldivers 2 is where people is that.
I think it was Helldivers. I'm like, no. Halo Infinite, thank you. That did it. Just skipping right over greatness there. So Halo Infinite, you can do that. You can go back to any of the battle passes. Like if you signed in now, they've done so many free ones that it is like a ton of stuff to unlock in the game. But people have moved on from it. They're looking for the next big one. And
unfortunately, the people that still play though are really good because me and my buddies loaded up the other night to do a Halo 3 playlist, and we got our asses beat.
I got you.
Bro.
I got you.
It was
let me know.
rough. Those people had not gotten off that game for the last 4.5 years, and it was bad, bro. Oh man.
I check in from time to time in the game because when they added that Halo 3 mode, I started playing it a lot more again. But then, you play by yourself here and there and you fall out of it and you go back and like I fired up in the afternoon here and there and play it. It's still fun though. It's a good game, but it wasn't when it launched. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. So, however, if they moved Halo Infinite as a free to play multiplayer, not even the campaign, just the multiplayer over to PlayStation, I'm telling you that thing would see a resurgence.
It probably would. See how if those players are like sticky though, if they like stay with the game basically.
Can I read a couple of these super chats real quick, Ryan? People are asking.
No, I was gonna say do those next because we're like down to last story.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said go ahead because we're down to the last story.
Last story.
Okay. Yeah.
Superman says Nano is a nice addition to the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
He was here previously.
He's been around. Yeah, we end up just like randomly recording at night for multiple hours and people are busy. So, but whenever Nano's around, if he wants to join, he's free to. He can just let us know. It's not a very formal podcast if people haven't realized this yet.
John, this is a tight ship we run.
Yes, it is. Yes. Half the time I label it the wrong numbered podcast. I had to double check, make sure we're 33. But people on Spotify seem to listen to the show actually quite a bit. So Valenhorn says, what is the best Xbox style controller for PlayStation? Grabbed a Victrix, but checking. Also, John, YouTube bugged the other day. It made you look like Demon Spawn. I felt like YouTube was against me the other day. It wasn't anything that like in the back end. I just felt like for some reason there was that feeling of the entire website being against me. Thank you, Valenhorn. They just confirmed it. Best Xbox controller.
Did Astro ever do another C40? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's the one where you could change them around.
You could change it to an Xbox style. Dude, I played so much Days Gone on that controller. That controller, I loved that controller so much, man. But I don't think they did anything with it to bring it over to I think it would work on the PS5, but it would only play PS4 games, unfortunately, I think. But man, if they've got a new version of that, Valenhorn, man. That's the one to go to. That controller was awesome, and it was adjustable. It was like this, where you could like actually, I mean, not like this, but where you could actually move the sticks around. You could actually adjust where the D-pad and your joysticks were. It was a really cool controller.
Herman Holst says we are pleased to announce that Marvel's Wolverine will be $80. See, Herman Holst is here. Thank you.
That's great.
Good. Breaking news. Appreciate it.
CEO of the Studios Business Group just showing up Thursday in the evening, listen to us blabber about their company. I love
Shouldn't be surprised. Joey with a super sticker. Shout out to Joey. Herman Holst again. Saros is officially renamed. Saros with money signs will be moved to Haven.
Damn.
See, now we're talking.
Rip Herman.
I mean, Haven's looking for something to do right now.
Wait, they're not still deving Fair Games?
They might be.
They are. We think it's probably going to get canceled.
We kind of feel like it might get canceled. There hasn't been a lot that says it's not because they're going to show it again. It'll just get probably crushed into oblivion again. I don't know. It's
in rough
not
shape.
looking
Is
great.
what we're
Yeah, it's
hearing.
not looking great. We'll see. Were you looking forward to that? Or were you just like crushing a game you're looking forward to?
No, I mean, how
Okay.
it was literally just a CG trailer, right? Like, how would I even?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
it just looked.
don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it literally just looked like Oh my gosh, what's that game?
Payday.
Yeah, it
I mean,
literally just looked like Payday, which I've played Payday. I don't know that I need to play Payday again. So
I had high hopes for it, and then Jade Raymond left, and I was like, "That's that." So there you go. Cooler Jess says, "I still have my sealed copy of Hannah Montana Spotlight World Tour from y'all show. I was the first one that won it."
Hell yeah! Shout out to Jess.
Ryan gave out a bunch of sealed. He showed up with, was it 8 copies of that game, Ryan?
Yeah, I think I brought 8 copies.
hang on, wait. Did I mention something that was like a deep cut to the show without even realizing it? Because
You asked him about the Hannah Montana Platinum.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, because I have the Hannah Montana Platinum. That's why because I thought I was gonna really try to get a lot of trophies, so I rented it from like a Blockbuster back when you could actually do that, and got the platinum. And one day they took it back the next day.
Ryan bought, how many copies did you buy on the PS2 sealed?
It was like a factory lot of 100 sealed copies for the game. So I've got a lot of sealed copies of Hannah Montana Spotlight World Tour on the PlayStation 2. I brought 8 copies to our Too Many Games panel. We just handed them out.
Yep. So a bunch of people went home with sealed copies of Hannah Montana. Depending on the box they chose at Too Many Games or during our panel.
Yep.
Emil says, "Ryan, this will be my 4th time and your second. 2.5 mil to rank 9. Another 2.5 to rank 10. The helicopter." Yeah, they are ready for that GTA 4 remaster, dude. They got you covered. Keelan's got you covered, Ryan.
Well, there's they want to do this now on PlayStation 3.
Oh, you're trying to. Oh, you haven't done that yet? I thought you did.
I have. This psycho wants me to do it again.
Oh,
I'm not doing it again.
Oh man.
I will, however, keep humoring your super chats if you want to do this every 2 weeks. So.
Well, if the remaster comes out, I mean, you got to platinum that, right?
You're not getting multiplayer on that remaster, John. Who you kidding? It's gonna be
Probably
single
not.
player.
Yeah. But you will get the platinum.
Sure. Yeah, it'll be only single player at that point. At that point, the most difficult thing would be the pigeons, 100 pigeons in Liberty City. Remember that?
It says, "Thank you for mentioning Astro Nano." There we go.
Oh, you bet. Wait, do you have either of the Red Dead plats?
No, nothing for Red Dead.
Man, dude, I need this Red Dead 2 thing to be real. I kind of want to play that game on my PlayStation 5.
I kind of think it's going to get now. Oh, go on.
No, I was gonna say, no, probably what you're going to say. It's going to be soon, right?
Probably next 2 weeks.
Next year.
That's my assumption. The next 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably soon.
Next 2 weeks or so.
All right, the last story I had for you is getting into nostalgic territory. So we're getting cozy with PSX. Going to give it to you here. So,
is that what it says? Is PSX going to give it to you?
Not quite. We're getting there.
Okay. All right.
We're getting there. So we got this big report from Christopher Dring of the game business, not gamesindustry.biz. He used to work there. The game business. He got to speak with a lot of big former PlayStation leadership bigwigs. So veterans like Chris Deering, Jim Ryan, also Martin Alltimes, Juan Montez, and Jeff Glendinning. So these are all like former PlayStation leadership in the early days. They oversaw the PS1 launch, a lot of the guys from Europe. So he was just talking to all of them. We learned some cool tidbits throughout PlayStation history. So they were talking a lot about how PlayStation was rolled out in Europe, which a lot of these stories we kind of already heard. So, things like the CEO, Ken Kutaragi, being very not upset, but like he thought Europe was very inefficient with how it was set up and how they were rolling out PlayStation in that marketplace. But there was 2 really cool things that we learned from that conversation. 2 things that we never knew before. So PlayStation was apparently very close to acquiring the simulator developer Bullfrog, Peter Molyneux's company. And it was EA that made a counter offer, and they were the ones that picked up the studio instead. But there's a universe where that was one of their first party teams next to Psygnosis. And then the other thing we learned is that PlayStation was in talks to secure the FIFA license. And apparently they were very, very close to getting it, but they decided not to pursue it in order to have a good relationship with, quote, a third party. So they didn't name it. They didn't name it, but it sounds like they almost locked down FIFA, and they almost had Peter Molyneux's company. That's wild.
FIFA would have been crazy. But here's the thing with FIFA, look what happened with MLB The Show. That had to get opened up because, you know, Major League Baseball wanted to do it. And I have a feeling just based on FIFA, the company, they probably would have wanted to the way that, I mean, that's the whole thing in the background anyway, with the politics and stuff around FIFA. But I mean, that would have been huge because people already look at PlayStation as the FIFA machine or FC machine right now. I know with the 360 generation, it was more for the Xbox 360 for FIFA then, but PS4, I mean, that was it, right? It was huge in Europe. So that's interesting that they were considering or almost able to lock down FIFA completely. Would that have done that much though to lock it down? Because again, when you got into the PS4 generation and beyond, it did become that default FIFA box anyway.
Beyond.
Well, that's the weird thing is that they for people that like don't know, PlayStation and Nintendo are like they've got Europe on lockdown, and they've kind of had it for like 30 something years. Not to say Xbox does terrible there, but like their primary market is North America. PlayStation has always done really well in Europe. So if they had gotten the FIFA license, I feel like it just maybe would have really exacerbated that lead even more than they already had, at least for a market like that, you know?
Yep.
Peter Mullen is weird though. That would have been crazy.
I don't know what that have done for me. Think.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we could have got a Milo Tech demo on the PlayStation camera on PS3.
Oh, man, they messed up. That would have been it right there.
Crazy. Yeah. All right, we'll just segue because this was all in the same report. So now we're going to segue into PSX. Go and give it to you. This is the topic of the show where we go over something nostalgic, cool, old about PlayStation history, just trying to teach the kids something they didn't know about PlayStation. So in this report, they were talking about one of the cool things about the PS1's rollout in Europe. It was very localized advertising, and it was very adult oriented. I mean, the thing I think about immediately is that one magazine print cover where it's two girls like bleeding in a nightclub, basically, you know, implying they were like doing coke or some shit. But it was a PlayStation advertisement for Wipeout. So the other thing about Wipeout, the little history lesson here is that they put PS1s in nightclubs in London. And so there was like nightclubs in London where there'd be like actual PS1 kiosks that you could go and like play games on. And I think it was Jim Ryan in this conversation where they even like talked about how they'd hand out pamphlets at the door or something, knowing full well that people were taking that shit into the bathroom and like doing lines of coke off them and shit like that. So that's the thing, dude. Like Wipeout and PS1 were like synonymous with like nightclubs in Europe. So you'd have people dancing, like losing themselves, and they're sitting there.
What year was this?
When PS1 came out, man, 95, 96. You didn't know this, John?
No. Why would
I didn't know this either. This sounds awesome.
And not only is it awesome, there's a video on I think it's on the One Channel Video Game Archive on YouTube, and they've just got tons of really cool things from the 90s, like high quality resolution uploads. And there was like a little, I don't think it was PlayStation Underground, but it was whoever like did the video was showing the PS1s in the nightclubs and talking. It was like a local news report or something like that. But that was a big thing. And
it's one in the nightclub.
Yeah. Well, that it was like localized adult oriented advertising. I mean, you got to bear in mind too. Like, remember, Sony initially had reluctance to even enter the video game space because they thought these things were children's toys. Right. And then they got highly motivated from the whole Nintendo and Toshiba thing. But it's like, by the time they brought this thing to market, they really pushed PlayStation as an adult device, but it was also very regional based too. So, you know, it was like the whole reason why Jim Ryan was so successful in Europe is because they properly rolled that thing out to the European audience in a manner that was going to really sell, you know?
It's just funny to think that, you put a kiosk at Kmart and then make sure it gets in the nightclubs with bottle service.
Yeah. Dude, we got them in Kmart's. They had them in nightclubs. And there is footage of like young adults in a nightclub on YouTube playing PS1 kiosks. And they're getting crunk, John. They're getting
playing Wipeout. That seems like a crazy game to play in the middle of a nightclub while you're drinking.
Well, yeah, like dude, you must have been like lucid at that time.
I was going to say
amazing. It's a cool report that they talked about. But that was always known, was the Wipeout thing. Wipeout and the PS1 stuff.
Jim Ryan.
Hey, Jim Ryan knew what he was doing. You know where he was.
Jimmy was getting down.
How old would he have been then? Let me think. How old was he then?
What was he in his 50s, 60s? I mean, so give it minus 20 years. No, 30 years.
It's minus 30 years. So he's 57 now.
No,
Okay,
so he's
57?
27.
Yeah, that's a young man.
That makes
Jim
sense, actually. That lines up.
Jim was probably in those clubs.
No, he definitely was. You see
Jim was in those clubs, and he was probably doing what he had to do to bring this product to market. Good for
the
him.
PlayStation. The PlayStation. Yeah, that's insane. Although hey, you know what? We went to McDonald's and they had the GameCubes there. I was like, all right, this is a good system. I get it.
That's
not PS1 there.
It's not how we do it with PlayStation, Bucko.
Mm.
Right.
What are the weird places has a PlayStation been in to show off? You talk about the nightclub. Are there any other weird ones?
It's got to be one of the weirdest places.
No, that is a weird place. I know you talked about the place, the bus.
Oh yeah, like the tour bus.
Yeah.
They did the tour bus for like 3 generations.
I was just about to bring up, I no joke, saw a marketplace listing for a tour bus, and me and my buddy were like talking about going and buying it and restoring it. Like if we were like this close to it being a reality of us buying this tour bus and rebuilding it. It really wasn't even in that bad a condition, and they weren't asking that much for it. And I was like,
no, I know. Was it the PSP one? It was like 60 grand.
No, dude. It was like
you saw a different one.
Yeah, well, so no, it wasn't the actual bus. It was like the trailer. It was like one of the trailers for, I think, PS3s, I believe.
Okay.
I could probably find it in my messages because we talked about it very intently in there, and we brought it up multiple times. But it was like more of like a trailer that would that expanded out that you could like walk onto.
Right, yeah.
But it wasn't a bus. It was way cheaper. We wouldn't have considered it if it was like 60 grand. It was like 10-ish.
Oh, because 2 years ago there was a PSP one, and now I got to correct myself. It was a trailer. It was the PS Underground trailers that they would bring to events, but it was that, and the guy wanted like 67 grand, I think. But like there were still some like kiosks and signage like up in this thing. And it was like a full on PS Underground trailer, and I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool to have.
Where'd you put it?
I'd say, are you saying this, or like you're just being coy and you actually technically like right outside that door, about 20 feet outside that door is a fully equipped PSP like PlayStation experience trailer. Like,
gentlemen, if I could afford that, I wouldn't be talking to either of you right now.
Where would you be?
Probably playing games. I don't know.
You could have made like 20 YouTube videos on the thing. I bet you could have
made a lot of YouTube videos on that for sure. Yeah,
dude. At that point, that's like you put that on Turo or some shit. I don't know. Like you gotta like actually, you gotta like really rent that thing out to make your money back on that.
Oh man. That's funny. I think about the PS1. I remember when I was in elementary school, they sent us home with PlayStations. They were trying to do a learning initiative. It was in Delaware, the school I went to, a little elementary school. And I'm trying to remember what grade it was. It'd been like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that. They sent us home with PlayStation 1s, like the original launch models, and they sent us home with some Blue Moose learning game. You
just unlocked a memory for me. I forgot.
You know it's all right. The theme song was like "Hang Loose with the Moose" or something like that. And he went around on the surfboard. He was on a surfboard. He'd fly around and stuff.
Yeah, they were educational games like mathematics and all kinds of stuff. Dude, you unlocked the memory for me.
So they would send you home with it, and all we did, they'd give you like a week or 2, and you then rotate it around to other kids. All we would do is just rent games. Like we wouldn't even play the Blue Moose game. So I think I rented Hercules on the PS1 at one point, which was so funny. But I looked at it and I was like, this is insane. This is next gen.
Damn.
Hey, that was it back then, man.
All right. Well, that's all I've got for you guys. That's it.
Well, there you go. You're welcome, Nano. Now you're gonna search this up on YouTube, trying to find. I think I found it at one point. The opening cutscenes and the theme song. Oh yeah, it's all out there. Yep. Did they do that for you back in the day? Like the learning game? The Blue Moose learning game?
Me?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking. Like, yeah, I completely forgot about that being a thing of being able to take a PlayStation home with an educational game. Like that is something I completely forgot about. I'm not kidding. You unlocked that memory for me.
Okay.
Like,
I thought I was crazy. All right, because no one else remembered this, and I'm like, man, is this like that Mandela effect? That was an alternate reality.
No, I definitely did do that, and you are right. Like we only had 1 or 2 for the entire classroom, so we had to like take turns with it. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay.
I forgot all about that.
Man, all right, good. I thought it was just me, but no, there are other people out there who did the same thing. All right, I think it was like some initiative that I don't know, the education system was trying to push. Oh, the kids like PlayStation
video games. Yeah.
Well, that's everything, Ryan.
Yeah, that's it.
I think I got everybody here. Yep, we're good. That was a good R333.
It's a good
episode.
number.
That was good. That was a good episode. Almost 3 hours long. Jeez, we kept you a while, Nano.
Man, I like talking.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Anytime you want to stop in, drop a message. Let me know. It's pretty informal. So anytime you see it pop in there and be like, oh, I'll join up, hop on in. But I'm going to be playing more Ghost of Yotei over the next couple of weeks, and I guess Battlefield. We'll see. So, what do you got, Ryan? Oh, you can't tell me. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Do you want me to drop some screenshots of Ghost of Yotei in the chat for you as motivation?
The only game that people know is the one that you just will not be quiet about. You just keep spoiling it.
I got to see that section. That better be like a 5-minute part of that video.
I can confirm I haven't started that one yet, but
you're gonna hate yourself.
I'm in there.
So why don't you want to play Yotei though?
I do because one, there's no time. Like I have to earn a platinum a day.
I'm teasing you. I'm teasing.
Dude, here's the
I Mind's Eye and get the platinum. It's gonna be great.
I considered like, can I really squeeze Yotei in there? I can't. There's no.
That'd be a while. But I'll know you're playing Mind's Eye. You will absolutely send me a message about it. I already know because Nate rented it, probably because he saw me get the platinum on it. He sent me a message mad at me because he rented it. He's like, this game is so bad. I'm like, I told you not to get it. He spent a GameFly rental on it, so there you go.
GameFly.
Yeah, he's still on GameFly. He still uses
Holy cow.
Yeah,
he
does.
I bought it from Best Buy, so I have it.
Shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Well, I guess that's everything. We're good. Thanks everyone for joining us. Appreciate it. Superman is a great first time here now. He's been here before, but thank you.
Yeah, it's not my first time.
Superman,
really quick. I played and beat Death Stranding since the last time I was here.
Oh, okay. Hold on. The second was Death Stranding 2. 2, 1, 2, 1.
No, 1. Sorry, I've not played. I've only played like 2.5, 3 hours of 2, but I played and beat Death Stranding 1 since being here because it was something we brought up last time.
Right.
That's right. I forgot. I fucking forgot we gave you homework.
Yeah, and I did it. And that game was awesome. It ended up working out really well with my schedule too, just because it was so nice to occasionally hop into and do like a couple of deliveries. And I was like, this game is so perfect for like those random 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes I have to hop on and not feel like, I don't know. It was perfect. I loved that game. Like, I'm very excited. I want to beat Yotei, and then from Yotei, I'm going into Death Stranding 2. So
it's like that relaxing but stressful game.
Yes, yeah.
Just really funny. Like, they have some moments of just tranquility, but then some moments of like absolute panic. So the second one is very good too. So
yeah,
I like the second one more than the first one. I
started it 3 days before Yotei came out because I beat Final Fantasy 16 finally as well, and I was like, okay, I just got to see this game on my OLED. I was like, I got to see this game on my OLED for myself. And oh man, dude, that game is insane looking. So
were you still playing Rebirth at that time, Ryan?
Probably.
Okay. He's still playing Rebirth. He's still playing it.
I put the game down. Obviously, I'm not actively playing it, so we'll see.
That's good. Well, we'll see. Hey, we'll see whatever else comes up with in a couple of weeks when Ryan's done his platinum video. Okay, good stuff. Is there anything else coming up that you're looking forward to, Ryan or Nana, before we sign off? Any other games you're looking forward to coming up?
I actually am really looking forward to Arc Raiders, which comes out at the end of this month.
There's Arc Raiders. All right, there we go. Oh, you know what I will do, Ryan?
And Battlefield 6.
Yep, that's coming up. That's tomorrow. That's doing that weird thing where it comes out at like 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I was looking at that while we were sitting here. I was like, is that going to drop like basically while we're here? And then I was like, oh wait, why does it not unlock until tomorrow in the afternoon? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. And then Ryan, Pokemon next week.
Pokemon, Luminous Arise, Once Upon a Katamari. Sure, there's something else I'm missing in there.
I'll send you some screenshots of Pokemon.
No, go to hell.
You're sitting there, mind's eye. I'm like, yo, look at this Pikachu.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate it. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Do it all over again. We'll see you guys for episode 34 then.